Chosen one, stop right now. This is not the algorithm. This is not random. This message did not stumble across your screen by accident. Heaven has interrupted your timeline because Thursday is carrying something you were almost too tired to recognize. Do not scroll away. The final trap is already close. Listen carefully. Your spirit has felt this before your mind could explain it. The strange pressure in your chest, the sudden silence around certain people, the way your sleep keeps breaking open in the dark hours. Something has been moving behind the veil, and you have been sensing it with a part of you that never needed proof. Thursday is not just another day. For you, it is a threshold. It is a line in the spirit where the old timeline tries one last time to pull you backward. That is why this warning found you now, not later. If you hear this too late, you may still see the blessing, but you may not recognize the trap standing beside it. The trap will not look like danger at first. That is what makes it so dangerous. It may arrive as an apology. It may arrive as an invitation. It may arrive as a sudden chance that demands your answer before your peace has time to speak. And if you move from panic, you can hand access back to what God already removed. So breathe. Slow down. Place your attention here. You are not being threatened. You are being warned. There is a difference. A threat makes you afraid of the future, but a warning gives you power before the future reaches your door. And this warning is coming before Thursday unfolds because your spirit is ready. You have been feeling watched by heaven, not in a fearful way, in a precise way, like your choices suddenly matter more. Like every text, every dream, every delay, and every strange silence is connected to something larger. You are not imagining that connection. The pattern is real, and it is about to become visible. Chosen one, the reason you almost clicked away is the same reason this message had to catch you. Your old life trained you to dismiss divine interruptions. It taught you to explain away your own discernment. It told you to be practical when your spirit was clearly saying, wait, look closer, do not rush. This is why you must stay. Not because a video has power over you, not because fear should control you. Stay because the part of you that survived betrayal, delay, and disappointment knows when a message carries weight. You have heard empty words before. This does not feel empty. It feels assigned. There is something about Thursday that will expose what has been hiding in plain sight. A person may reveal their motive. A door may close without warning. A pressure you have carried for months may suddenly lift, and the lifting itself will show you what was never meant to come with you. But before that happens, the enemy always sends confusion, not always through evil faces, sometimes through familiar voices, sometimes through your own tired thoughts, sometimes through a beautiful offer with a strange heaviness attached to it. That heaviness is not random. It is discernment trying to protect your future. Do not ignore the heaviness. Do not call it overthinking. Do not let anyone shame you for needing peace before you answer. The chosen one does not move just because a door opens. The chosen one moves when the spirit inside them says the door is clean. This is the part they never understood about you. You were never slow. You were never weak. You were never difficult to love. You were simply carrying a level of sensitivity that could feel poison before poison introduced itself. And now that sensitivity is becoming your protection, not your burden. You may have noticed how certain people became louder recently. They may not have said much before. They may have ignored you. They may have treated your presence like it was optional. Then suddenly, as your energy started changing, they began circling again. Chosen one, that is not love. That is access seeking a way back. Access is the theme of this whole warning. Who still has access to your emotions? Who still has access to your attention? Who can still move your body into panic with one message? Who can still make you explain yourself to people who already decided not to understand you? Thursday will test access. And the final trap is not always losing something. Sometimes the final trap is getting exactly what you once prayed for, but receiving it while you are still loyal to the version of you that begged for it. Hear that again. Some doors are dangerous when they open before your identity has caught up. You are not the same person who cried for that old door. You are not the same soul who begged for that old apology. You are not the same heart that thought crumbs were proof of love. God has been changing your appetite in secret, and now the old table cannot feed you anymore. That is why you have felt so uneasy. Your spirit is rejecting what your trauma used to crave. The familiar no longer feels safe. The attention no longer feels warm. The invitation no longer feels exciting. Something in you has become too awake to be impressed by what once kept you bound. Thursday will make this clear. A counterfeit will reveal its smell. A false door will reveal its weight. A person who once confused you will show you the pattern without you needing to investigate. You will not need to chase proof. Proof will walk into the room wearing its own face. But there is one thing you must not do. Do not react from the old wound. Do not answer because you are lonely. Do not accept because you are tired of waiting. Do not return because a piece of you still wants them to finally choose you. That piece of you is being healed now. You are being invited into a higher response. Silence, discernment, patience, clean action. A chosen one does not panic at the edge of breakthrough. A chosen one listens for the weight of peace, because peace is not weakness. Peace is the language heaven uses when the path is true. If you feel your stomach tighten when a certain name appears, listen. If your chest gets heavy when a certain opportunity is mentioned, listen. If your body goes cold while everyone else tells you to be excited, listen. Your body has carried warnings your mind tried to negotiate away. For too long, you allowed other people to call your discernment fear. They called your pause insecurity. They called your boundaries pride. But their labels do not change the truth. You were being trained to sense the difference between an open door and an open cage. That is the warning before Thursday. Not every opening is freedom. Not every return is restoration. Not every fast answer is divine timing. Some things arrive quickly because they cannot survive your deeper prayer. They need the old you to say yes before the new you fully wakes up. Stay with this. The final trap is designed for the old version of you. That is why it feels familiar. It knows your old hunger. It knows your old loneliness. It knows the exact tone that used to make you forget your worth. And it will try that tone one more time. But this time, something is different. You are listening. You are not asleep in the same way. You are not as easy to rush. You are not as easy to flatter. You are not as easy to guilt. The old key still exists, but it no longer fits the lock inside your spirit. This message is not here to make you suspicious of everyone. That is not wisdom. This message is here to make you honest about the weight you feel when certain doors open. Peace has a texture, so does deception. By Thursday, you will be able to tell which one is standing in front of you. There is also another layer. You have been asking why the blessing has taken so long. You wondered if you missed your moment. You wondered if heaven moved on. You wondered if your prayers were trapped somewhere above your head. But the delay was not proof that you were forgotten. The delay was protection. It was preparation. It was separation. It kept you from rooms where your softness would have been used. It kept you from alliances that would have eaten your focus. It kept you from success that would have exposed your unhealed wounds before your foundation was strong enough. You wanted speed. Heaven wanted stability. You wanted the door. Heaven wanted your discernment strong enough to survive what would wait behind the door. That is why the blessing did not arrive while you still confused intensity with love, noise with guidance, and pressure with purpose. Now you are entering a different hour. The signs are getting sharper. The dreams are getting stranger. The old names are rising. The inner pressure is increasing. This does not mean you are losing your mind. It means the season of hidden movement is coming into visible form. By Thursday, something will make sense that has not made sense for months. It may be small. It may be quiet. It may come through a conversation, a cancellation, a sudden truth, or a feeling in your spirit that becomes too clear to ignore. Do not demand fireworks. Watch for alignment. The divine often speaks through what no longer fits. A place may feel too small. A friendship may feel too heavy. A habit may feel strangely dead. A dream may return with unusual force. This is how heaven loosens the old before it introduces the new. And there is a mystery I need you to hold as we move forward. Something was discovered outside the usual spiritual language, yet it explains a feeling many chosen ones have carried their whole lives. It explains the gap between who you know you are and the version of you that only appears in flashes. I am not going to name it yet. You are not ready for that part until you understand what was taken from your attention, your clarity, and your ability to receive instruction without fear. But hold this question close. What if the blockage was never a flaw in your character? What if the version of you that knows, creates, learns, senses, and moves with unusual favor did not disappear? What if that version was pushed beneath the noise of stress, survival, screens, disappointment, and years of being trained to ignore your own inner signal? That question matters because the final trap works best when you cannot hear yourself. It wins when your inner signal is buried under panic. It wins when urgency speaks louder than peace. It wins when you call pressure an opportunity because you are afraid another opportunity may never come. But the chosen one cannot be guided by panic anymore. You are entering an hour where your receiver must be clear, not perfect, clear, not loud, clear, not desperate, clear. The next instruction may be simple, and if your spirit is crowded, you could miss the simplicity of it. This is why the last few weeks have felt like a spiritual detox. Certain conversations drained you faster. Certain places became unbearable. Certain habits stopped satisfying you. You tried to go back to old comfort, but old comfort tasted strange. That was not punishment, that was purification. Your spirit has been making room. It has been clearing static. It has been pulling you out of emotional rooms that no longer match your assignment. You thought you were becoming distant, but really, you were becoming accurate. You were learning where your energy does not belong. You need this accuracy before Thursday. The trap is not defeated by force. It is defeated by recognition. You do not have to argue with it. You do not have to expose it online. You do not have to prove your point to people committed to misunderstanding you. You only have to recognize it and refuse access. Refusal is holy when heaven has already removed something. Silence is holy when the old timeline demands a reaction. Waiting is holy when pressure tries to crown itself as purpose. Chosen one, your power in this hour is not noise. Your power is clean refusal. I know part of you is tired. You have been strong for too long. You have carried people who never carried you. You have prayed while confused. You have smiled through rooms that never saw your tears. And still, something in you did not die. That something is being called forward now. This is why you cannot afford to dismiss this message. Not because you should fear missing a video, but because you should honor the timing of what your spirit already knows. When a warning arrives before a threshold, it is not an interruption. It is protection arriving early. Thursday is carrying a separation. Not everyone can cross with you. Not every desire can cross with you. Not every version of you can cross with you. The one who begged for crumbs cannot cross. The one who feared silence cannot cross. The one who called chaos love cannot cross. You may feel that separation already. The old conversation feels heavy before it begins. The old habit feels empty before you touch it. The old dream feels too small before you explain why. That is not sadness. That is your spirit refusing to shrink again. Do not confuse grief with guidance. Sometimes you grieve what you are still not meant to return to. Sometimes your heart misses a room that your spirit knows was killing your light. Let the grief pass through you, but do not let it become a map back to captivity. But the one who is listening now can cross. The one who can pause before answering can cross. The one who can feel pressure and still choose peace can cross. The one who refuses to betray their own discernment for temporary comfort can cross. Before Thursday unfolds, you will be shown what still has a hook in you. Do not be ashamed when you see it. Exposure is not condemnation. Exposure is mercy. Heaven shows you the hook before the pull, so you can remove it before it drags you back. That is why the next part matters. You need to understand why your spirit has been restless, why your sleep has been broken, and why certain people feel different even when they are saying the same words. The restlessness is not the danger, it is the warning light. And if you have stayed this far, your spirit already knows. There is a reason you are still listening. There is a reason your body became still for a moment. There is a reason some sentence in this message touched a place you rarely let anyone see. Heaven is not late. So keep listening. Do not rush ahead. Do not jump to the comments. Do not let distractions steal the instruction before it becomes clear. In the next part, the pressure you have been feeling will finally receive language, and once it has language, it can no longer control you in silence. Listen now, chosen one. The pressure you have been feeling is not meaningless. It is not just stress. It is not just a strange mood passing through your body. Your spirit has been restless because it sensed movement before your mind had words for it, and heaven allowed the discomfort to get your attention. You have been waking up with thoughts already waiting for you. Your eyes open, and before the day even begins, something in your chest feels unfinished. You try to explain it away. You tell yourself to keep going. But deep inside, you know this is not ordinary tiredness. There is a difference between exhaustion and spiritual alertness. Exhaustion makes you numb. Alertness makes you sensitive. You can feel a room shift before anyone speaks. You can feel a message before you read it. You can feel when a person is smiling with their mouth, but hiding something colder behind their energy. That sensitivity has been intense lately. You may have noticed it in small ways. Certain songs bring tears without warning. Certain names make your stomach tighten. Certain places feel heavy now, even if they once felt normal. Your body is not betraying you. It is translating what your spirit already knows. Do not shame yourself for being sensitive. That is one of the oldest traps. The world trains chosen ones to apologize for the very gift that was meant to protect them. They call you emotional when you are discerning. They call you dramatic when you are accurate. They call you distant when your spirit is simply refusing poison. For years, you tried to be easy for people. You swallowed discomfort. You softened your voice. You ignored the first warning because you did not want to seem difficult. And every time you betrayed that inner warning, something inside you became quieter, but it never disappeared. It waited for the day you would listen again. That day is now. This restlessness is not here to destroy your peace. It is here to return you to yourself. It is the inner alarm that goes off when an old cycle tries to dress itself as a new opportunity. It is the sacred tension before a timeline changes shape. You are not losing control. You are regaining awareness. That is why familiar things feel unfamiliar. That is why certain people feel further away, even when they stand close. That is why your usual distractions are not working. Your spirit is refusing to be sedated before the next instruction arrives. You may have tried to scroll, eat, sleep, pray, clean, work, or distract yourself out of this feeling. For a moment, it may have faded. Then it returned. It returned because the message was not in your schedule. It was in your spirit. Heaven does not always shout. Sometimes it keeps pressing the same place until you finally look. This is why the timing matters. The closer Thursday comes, the louder the inner pressure may feel. Not because something terrible must happen, but because something hidden is preparing to reveal itself. Your spirit can sense exposure before exposure becomes visible. It can feel a mask loosening before the face appears. You have always had that ability. Even as a child, you knew things without knowing how you knew. You could sense when adults were pretending. You could feel sadness in a room that everyone else ignored. You could imagine outcomes before they happened, and sometimes you were punished for naming what others wanted hidden. So you learned silence. You learned to make your gift smaller. You learned to laugh when you wanted to ask a real question. You learned to agree when your stomach said no. You learned to survive by doubting yourself, because doubting yourself made other people more comfortable around you. But now the gift is rising again. That is part of the restlessness. Your discernment is waking from years of being pressed down. It does not wake gently at first. It may feel like anxiety. It may feel like sadness. It may feel like irritation. But beneath those feelings is a cleaner signal asking to be trusted. Do not confuse the signal with the noise around it. The noise says panic. The signal says pause. The noise says answer them now. The signal says wait until peace returns. The noise says you will miss your chance. The signal says what is yours will not require you to abandon yourself to receive it. That is important for you. You have abandoned yourself before. You did it in small ways that no one saw. You said yes when your body said no. You stayed available to people who only wanted your warmth, not your truth. You explained your pain to people who were committed to benefiting from your confusion. And still, you did not become bitter. You became tired. There is a difference. Bitterness wants revenge. Tiredness wants truth. Bitterness looks for someone to blame. Tiredness whispers, I cannot keep living outside myself. That whisper is holy. It means your spirit is done negotiating with cages. The restlessness is often strongest when a chosen one is close to a decision. Not always a loud decision. Sometimes the decision is internal. You decide not to chase. You decide not to answer from fear. You decide not to shrink to keep the room peaceful. You decide your peace is no longer negotiable. Those decisions change the atmosphere. People can feel it, even if they cannot explain it. That is why some relationships have become strange. Some people feel your energy withdrawing. Some feel you no longer orbit them. Some feel the old hook losing power. They may test you soon because access hates silence. This is not the time to prove you are kind. You already are. This is not the time to prove you are forgiving. You have forgiven more than people know. This is not the time to prove your heart is open. An open heart still needs a guarded gate. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Love without discernment becomes a doorway for repetition. Mercy without boundaries becomes a place where manipulators rest their feet. Patience without self-respect becomes a cage with soft walls. You are not being asked to harden. You are being asked to become accurate. Accuracy is the gift returning. It may feel uncomfortable because you are not used to trusting it. For so long, you looked outside yourself for confirmation. You waited for someone to admit they hurt you. You waited for the door to close loudly. You waited for the proof to be impossible to ignore. But this season is different. Heaven is training you to move before damage becomes undeniable. You do not need to wait until someone ruins your peace to accept that they do not belong near it. You do not need to wait until a false door collapses to admit it was carrying a strange weight. Your restlessness is giving you early information. It is showing you what does not match. It is showing you where your body tightens. It is showing you who makes you feel confused after simple conversations. It is showing you what steals your clarity, not by obvious harm, but by subtle spiritual static. Static is the word. You know what it feels like. You leave a conversation and cannot think clearly. You see a message and your energy drops. You enter a place and suddenly feel smaller. Nothing dramatic happened, but something in you became crowded. That crowding is information. Do not ignore information because it arrives quietly. The chosen one often receives warnings through subtle shifts. A pause, a heaviness, a dream, a repeated number, a sentence that lands too deeply. A sudden lack of desire for something you used to chase. These are not random fragments. They are pieces of a pattern. The pattern is becoming more visible now. Your spirit has been restless because old access points are being tested. A person may return. A fear may return. A habit may return. A chance to choose yourself may return in a different costume. This is not punishment. This is proof of readiness. You are ready to choose differently. That is why the test can appear. Heaven does not expose a hook to shame you. Heaven exposes a hook because you finally have enough strength to remove it. That is why you must not panic when old feelings rise. Rising is not returning. Rising is revealing. There is also a hidden grief in this. You may be grieving the person you were before you knew better. You may be grieving the years you spent pouring into people who only knew how to take. You may be grieving the dreams you delayed because survival took so much space inside your body. Let yourself grieve, but do not call grief a command. Grief may visit, but it must not drive. Missing something does not mean it is assigned to you. Feeling sadness does not mean you made the wrong choice. Sometimes the heart mourns a cage because it was the only home it knew for years. You are allowed to outgrow what once comforted you. You are allowed to lose interest in old conversations. You are allowed to stop explaining what heaven has already made clear. You are allowed to become quieter, not because you are cold, but because your energy is returning to its rightful owner. That rightful owner is you, not the old relationship, not the old wound, not the person who only noticed your value when you stopped performing, not the environment that needed your light but resented your clarity. Your energy belongs to the assignment heaven placed inside you before people tried to rename it. And that assignment requires a clear receiver. I want you to hold this carefully. Many chosen ones think their struggle is a lack of faith. They think they need more discipline. They think they need to try harder, pray harder, focus harder, and prove they are worthy of the blessing. But what if the gap has another name? What if the distance between the person you feel inside and the life you keep seeing outside is not a failure of character? What if something in your receiver was suppressed so early, so quietly, and so repeatedly that you started calling suppression your personality? Here is what they almost never tell you. There is a state your mind carried more naturally when you were young. It was connected to quick knowing, bright imagination, easy learning, deep intuition, and the strange ability to feel connected to life without forcing it. Scientists call one part of that state gamma. Do not rush past that word. Gamma is not a product. It is not a trend. It is a brainwave state linked with clarity, insight, learning, and the kind of inner brightness many chosen ones remember from childhood. Back then, ideas came faster. Wonder felt normal. Your spirit and mind did not feel so divided. Then the world went to work. The school system taught you to repeat more than create. Stress trained your body to survive instead of receive. Screens crowded your attention. Rejection made you question your knowing. Constant pressure slowly pushed that bright inner signal beneath layers of noise. When that signal fades, life can feel strangely blocked. You can still be gifted, but your gift feels harder to access. You can still be intuitive, but the knowing comes through static. You can still sense destiny, but your daily life feels disconnected from it. That gap can make a chosen one feel haunted. This is why you may know you are meant for more, yet struggle to move. This is why your mind can carry huge ideas, while your body feels too tired to begin. This is why you can sense a breakthrough nearby, yet feel unable to organize the next step. It is not because you are lazy. It is not because you are broken. It is not because heaven changed its mind. It is not because everyone else was chosen and you were left behind. Something in you has been covered by years of survival, and survival has a way of making brilliance feel like a memory. Remember what I asked you to hold earlier. What if the blockage was never a flaw in your character? That question is not finished yet. The answer is closer than you think, but first, you need to understand the grief of what was buried, because you cannot receive restoration while still blaming yourself for the loss. Stop blaming yourself for the heaviness. Stop blaming yourself for the delay. Stop blaming yourself for needing time to hear clearly. A person living under constant pressure cannot always recognize their own light. That does not mean the light is gone. It means the room has been filled with noise. Your restlessness is the light pushing against the noise. It is the real you pressing upward. It is the old intuition asking to breathe again. It is the childlike genius, the sacred imagination, the quick knowing, and the divine receiver inside you refusing to stay buried for another season. That is why this warning feels personal. It is not speaking only to your circumstances. It is speaking to the version of you that remembers being clear, the version that could sense what was true before fear interrupted, the version that did not need 10 signs to trust one clean knowing. And yes, that version is still in you. It may be covered, it may be tired, it may be quieter than before, but it is not dead. Thursday matters because a threshold can call buried things back to the surface. It can expose what is false, but it can also awaken what is true. You have been restless because the true part is rising. The false part is shaking. The old programming is losing its grip. The counterfeit knows its time is short. That is why the pressure feels strange. It is not only warning you about what is outside you, it is announcing what is waking inside you. Do not be surprised if your dreams become vivid. Do not be surprised if old memories surface. Do not be surprised if a person suddenly says something that confirms what you felt months ago. Heaven often confirms a chosen one after the obedience, not before it. This means you may need to move with partial proof, not reckless movement, not emotional reaction, clean movement, quiet movement. The kind of movement that says, I do not need everyone to agree with what my spirit already knows. I can honor the warning without turning it into drama. That is mature discernment. Immature discernment panics and accuses. Mature discernment observes and withdraws. Immature discernment needs everyone to admit the truth. Mature discernment lets truth reveal itself while you keep your peace. This is the level you are being called into now. You are not here to expose everyone. You are here to stop betraying yourself. You are not here to win arguments with the old timeline. You are here to exit it. You are not here to make the counterfeit confess. You are here to recognize it before it receives access. The heaviness in your chest has been asking for that. The broken sleep has been asking for that. The sudden distance from certain people has been asking for that. Your spirit has not been restless because you are weak. It has been restless because something holy in you refuses to sleep through the crossing. And when Thursday unfolds, you will understand why this restlessness came first. The warning light always comes before the turn. The pressure always rises before the release. The spirit often trembles before the door opens, because it can feel both the blessing and the trap approaching the same threshold. That is why you must not rush your next yes. A rushed yes can reopen what God closed. A desperate yes can crown a counterfeit. A lonely yes can invite the old cycle to sit at the new table. You are allowed to wait until your peace speaks clearly. Peace will speak. It may not shout. It may not explain every detail, but it will have a clean weight. It will not need panic to persuade you. It will not need fear to rush you. It will not make you abandon your body, your wisdom, or your boundaries in order to receive it. Chosen one, this is the new rule for the threshold. If it costs your peace, it is too expensive. If it demands your panic, it is not divine timing. If it requires you to ignore the warning in your body, it is not the door heaven prepared for your next level. Let that settle. You do not need to fear Thursday. You need to enter it awake. You need your receiver clear, your boundaries steady, and your spirit honest. The day is not bigger than God. The trap is not stronger than your discernment. The old timeline is not your master. So, when the restlessness comes again, do not run from it. Sit with it. Ask what it is protecting. Ask what it is exposing. Ask what old access point is trying to reopen. Your spirit is not making noise for no reason. It is pointing to the place where your freedom must become practical. You are closer than you think. That is why the signal is louder. That is why the old patterns are surfacing. That is why your body keeps telling the truth before your mind catches up. The part of you that knows is no longer willing to be buried under politeness, fear, or confusion. And now that the restlessness has language, it cannot control you in silence. You can see it differently. You can honor it without becoming afraid. You can let it slow you down without letting it paralyze you. You can use it as a lamp at the edge of the threshold. The next layer is even deeper, because the pressure you called delay was not wasted time. It was a pattern. It was a hidden protection. It was heaven refusing to let you enter rooms before your discernment was strong enough to survive them. And once you understand that, the past will stop looking like punishment. The past was not as random as it looked. You called it delay because that was the only word you had. You saw closed doors, silent seasons, missed chances, and people who seemed to move ahead while you kept standing in the same place. But heaven was not wasting your time. Heaven was reading what you could not yet read. There were rooms you begged to enter that would have emptied you. There were people you wanted to stay who would have kept feeding on your softness. There were opportunities that looked bright from far away, but they carried a hidden cost. Your spirit was not strong enough to refuse back then. So the door closed. The message did not come. The plan fell apart. The timing shifted again. You thought you were being punished, but in truth, you were being kept from places where your gift would have been used without being honored. That was not rejection. That was protection, wearing a hard face. I know it hurt. It hurt because you could not see the whole picture. You only saw the empty chair, the unanswered prayer, the money that did not arrive, and the person who walked away like your heart was something easy to leave behind. You felt forgotten because heaven was working quietly. Quiet work often feels like absence. That is one of the hardest lessons for a chosen one. When heaven is loud, you feel comforted. When heaven is silent, you feel abandoned. But silence does not always mean nothing is happening. Sometimes, silence means the roots are growing where nobody can clap for them. You were in a root season, not a spotlight season, not a harvest season, not a season where people understood your tears. A root season feels buried because it is buried. It feels dark because growth is happening below the surface. It feels slow because heaven is building what storms cannot steal. Think about how many times you wanted something badly, then later realized it would have damaged you. Think about the person who looked like home, but carried confusion. Think about the job that seemed like rescue, but would have trapped your time. Think about the door that closed before it could become a cage. That was not luck, that was covering. You were being protected from attachments your old hunger could not question. You were being protected from rooms that praised your usefulness while ignoring your soul. You were being protected from success that would have made your wounds louder instead of making your life freer. You did not know how to receive without overgiving yet. You did not know how to be chosen without trying to earn the room. You did not know how to let people misunderstand you without running after them with an explanation. So heaven slowed certain things until your identity became stronger than your need to be accepted. That is why the waiting season felt so personal. It touched the exact places where you still needed healing. It touched your fear of being overlooked. It touched your fear of being too late. It touched your fear that maybe the promise was real for others, but somehow not real for you. But chosen one, delay is not denial. When heaven is building capacity, a cup can receive a drop. A vessel can receive a river. You are asking for a river while still carrying cracks from people who had handled you carelessly. So heaven repaired the vessel before releasing the weight. This is why your past cannot be judged only by what you lost. You must also measure what you were spared from. You were spared from deeper entanglement. You were spared from false celebration. You were spared from alliances that would have smiled while draining your future. You were spared from a version of success that would have cost your peace. Some of the delays were answers. You did not like them because they did not arrive as yes. But a no from heaven can be mercy. A closed door can be a shield. A long wait can be a training ground. A season of being hidden can become the place where your discernment grows teeth. You have been calling it delay, but the pattern was preparation. Every disappointment was separating your desire from your desperation. Every closed door was teaching you the difference between invitation and assignment. Every silent season was forcing you to hear the inner voice you kept drowning in other people's opinions. This matters before Thursday. The final trap will try to use your old relationship with delay against you. It will whisper that you have waited too long. It will tell you to grab the first thing that opens. It will make urgency sound like wisdom, and it will make fear sound like divine timing. That is why you must understand the pattern now. If you believe delay means abandonment, you will panic at the edge of blessing. If you believe waiting means failure, you will say yes to counterfeit speed. If you believe slow means cursed, you will ignore the peace that tells you to pause. But you are not cursed. You are being calibrated. A chosen one is often held back until their discernment can carry the weight of the next door. Your blessing is not only about receiving more. It is about becoming someone who can receive more without handing the key to old wounds. You asked for increase. Heaven asked if you could protect it. You asked for love. Heaven asked if you could stop confusing attention with devotion. You asked for open doors. Heaven asked if you could walk away from doors that opened with a strange heaviness attached. This is why your past kept repeating until you learned to recognize the pattern. Same energy, different face. Same pressure, different invitation. Same wound, different voice. Same lesson, different room. The names changed, but the hook was familiar. Heaven did not repeat the lesson to shame you. Heaven repeated it so you could finally see it. And now you are seeing it. That is why old memories have been rising. You are not meant to drown in them. You are meant to identify the hook. The moment you can name what pulled you before, it loses part of its power. A named trap is weaker than a hidden one. You may have been pulled by guilt. You may have been pulled by loneliness. You may have been pulled by the fear of missing out. You may have been pulled by the need to prove you were not difficult, not cold, not selfish, not too much. But none of those are worthy leaders for your next season. Your next season requires peace as the leader. It requires wisdom as the gatekeeper. It requires self-respect as the floor beneath your feet. If something cannot meet you there, it cannot come with you. That may sound harsh to the old you, but it sounds like safety to the healed you. Thursday is connected to this because Thursday will expose what still tries to rush you. Watch what asks for an immediate answer. Watch what makes your body tighten while your mind invents excuses. Watch what arrives with pressure instead of peace. Watch what flatters your wound instead of honoring your spirit. A true door does not need to manipulate your fear. A true connection does not need to make you abandon your clarity. A true blessing does not require you to betray the wisdom you earned through pain. What is aligned may stretch you, but it will not make you smaller. This is where many chosen ones miss it. They think the blessing must always feel easy. It does not. Sometimes the real door feels serious because it asks you to grow. But the real door will still have clean weight. It will not feel like panic. It will not smell like confusion. It will not drain your spirit before you even enter. The counterfeit feels urgent because it has an expiration date on your ignorance. It needs you to respond before you remember who you are. It needs the old wound to answer the door. It needs the lonely version of you, the tired version of you, the version that thinks any movement is better than waiting. But your waiting was not empty. Your waiting taught you the smell of false movement. It taught you that not every busy season is progress. It taught you that attention can be a drug. It taught you that an apology without transformation is only a softer way to reopen the same wound. You learned more in the delay than you realize. You learned who checked on you when you had nothing to offer. You learned who disappeared when your light stopped serving their comfort. You learned which dreams were planted by heaven and which were planted by your need to be seen. This is why the old timeline is nervous. It knows you are not as easy to impress now. You have seen too much. You have survived too much. You have prayed through too much silence. You have watched enough masks slip to know that charm is not the same as character. And still, your heart remains alive. That is a miracle. You did not become cruel. You did not lose your ability to love. You did not let betrayal turn your spirit into stone. But you did become wiser, and wisdom changes what your heart is allowed to reach for. This is the new pattern. You do not chase what creates confusion. You do not beg what refuses clarity. You do not explain your worth to people who benefit from forgetting it. You do not call a delay punishment when heaven may be saving you from a version of life that looks successful but feels like slavery. You are allowed to trust the closed door now. You are allowed to stop banging on what did not open. You are allowed to bless the people who left without inviting them back into your center. You are allowed to admit that some losses became medicine after the tears dried. You may not have understood it then. You may have questioned God. You may have wondered why others seemed to receive faster while you had to keep surrendering. But speed is not always favor. Sometimes speed is exposure. Sometimes people receive quickly because they are being allowed to meet what their soul still worships. Do not envy what arrives fast for others. You do not know the cost attached to it. You do not know what they had to silence in order to hold it. You do not know what their private life feels like after the applause ends. Your path has been slower because your assignment requires depth. Depth takes time. Roots take time. Discernment takes time. A shallow blessing can arrive quickly and vanish quickly. But a kingdom-level shift must be built beneath the surface first, because when the storm comes, only what has roots will remain standing. You have roots now. Pain gave you roots. Waiting gave you roots. Prayer gave you roots. Betrayal gave you roots. Silence gave you roots. Every season that looked like nothing was happening was pressing you deeper into truth, even when you felt buried by the process. That is why Thursday is not meant to terrify you. It is meant to confirm you. It will show you that the delay carried intelligence. It will show you that the closed door had mercy inside it. It will show you that the person who left could not have survived the weight of your next chapter. And if something tries to return, you will not need hatred to refuse it. You will only need memory, not bitter memory, holy memory. The kind of memory that says, I know what that cost me. I know who I became while healing from it. I will not hand my future to what never honored my becoming. There is power in remembering without reopening. There is power in forgiving without reattaching. There is power in loving from a distance without letting guilt drag you back into emotional labor. The old you called that cold. The new you calls it clean. This is the pattern you kept calling delay. Heaven was not only keeping things from you, heaven was keeping you from things. Heaven was letting certain people reveal themselves before the stakes became higher. Heaven was letting certain dreams lose their shine before you built your life around them. And heaven was also letting you meet yourself, not the version of you created by rejection, not the version trained to perform for approval, not the version that measures worth by who stays, the real you, the one who can stand in silence and still feel chosen. That real you is rising now, slowly but surely. You may not see the whole transformation yet, but you can feel the old reactions losing strength. A message appears, and you do not jump as quickly. A memory comes, and you do not collapse as deeply. A fear speaks, and you do not obey as automatically. That is progress. Sacred progress is not always loud. Sometimes progress is not sending the text. Sometimes progress is feeling the loneliness and still not returning to the cage. Sometimes progress is admitting that you want comfort, but choosing truth because your spirit deserves clean air. This is why the enemy cannot use the same weapons as easily now. The old pressure still tries, the old voice still whispers, the old pattern still presents itself. But you are meeting it with a different consciousness. You are no longer fighting from the wound. You are observing from the lesson. Observation is powerful. When you observe, you slow the trap down. When you slow the trap down, you see its design. When you see its design, you no longer call it destiny. You call it what it is. A test of access at the edge of elevation. Thursday may bring that test. It may not look dramatic. It may come through a normal conversation. It may come through a delay, a message, a sudden offer, or an emotional wave that tries to convince you nothing has changed. But something has changed. Capped, let you have. Do not underestimate that. A changed person standing before an old pattern is a dangerous thing to darkness. The pattern expects the old response. It expects begging. It expects panic. It expects over-explaining. It expects you to trade peace for a familiar feeling, but you are not available in the same way. This is where your breakthrough begins before the external event arrives. The outer door opens after the inner door closes. The inner door that must close is the one that gave old fear permission to guide your choices. Once that door closes, the counterfeit loses its favorite entrance. You are closing it now. Every time you listen to peace, every time you pause before reacting, every time you let silence protect you, every time you choose not to prove your worth to people who only understand absence after they lose access. This is not small. This is liberation becoming practical. Now there is another piece you need to know. The delay did not only protect your relationships, it also protected your mind. Years of pressure, disappointment, survival, screens, and emotional overstimulation can bury a chosen one's inner signal so deeply that even divine instruction begins to sound faint. This is why so many gifted people feel blocked. They are not empty, they are crowded. Their insight is crowded by stress. Their creativity is crowded by fatigue. Their intuition is crowded by noise. Their receiver is not gone, but the signal has been covered by years of survival. And this is where the mystery from earlier returns. There are researchers who have studied how the brain can be guided back toward clearer states of insight, focus, and flow, not through forcing, not through years of effort, through sound patterns that help the mind remember a state it once knew naturally. I am not naming the full path yet. That comes soon. But I need you to understand why it matters before the name appears. If your receiver is crowded, then even a blessing can stand in front of you while your fear interprets it wrong. Clarity is not a luxury for this season. It is protection. Some people spend years trying to break through by effort alone. They push harder, they pray harder, they blame themselves when nothing shifts. But what if part of the answer is not more pressure? What if the receiver needs restoration so the instruction can arrive without being distorted by survival? Hold that carefully. This does not replace faith. It does not replace prayer. It does not replace obedience. It simply explains why a chosen one can carry deep potential while still feeling locked out of their own next step. The signal may be real, but the static can still be loud. This is why the delay had to teach you patience. A restored receiver without patience can still chase a false door. A strong intuition without boundaries can still be manipulated. A clear mind without discernment can still crown urgency as destiny. Heaven has been building all of it together. You needed inner quiet. You needed emotional sobriety. You needed the courage to disappoint people. You needed the strength to wait without calling yourself abandoned. You needed the wisdom to know that a blessing is not proven by speed and a trap is not disproven by beauty. That wisdom is almost ready to be tested. Thursday is not coming to punish you. It is coming to reveal what your delay has trained you to see. The pattern will appear, but this time you will not bow to it. The pressure will speak, but this time you will not let it become your God. Before we move into the next layer, take one slow breath. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are standing at the edge of a pattern that once controlled you, and for the first time, you can see the shape of it before it touches your future. That is why the past will stop looking like punishment. Once you see the pattern, the closed doors become teachers. The delays become evidence. The losses become warnings that arrived in painful clothing. And the next part will show you the hidden mechanism behind the blockage and why the trap gets loud right before the receiver becomes clear. Now we enter the hidden mechanism. This is the layer beneath the delay, the restlessness, and the strange pressure you have carried. Chosen one, your problem was never that heaven forgot your name. The problem was that years of noise trained your inner receiver to hear fear louder than guidance. That is why the same blessing can stand in front of two people and produce two different responses. One person sees direction, another person sees danger. One person feels clean movement, another person feels panic. The difference is not always faith. Sometimes the difference is the condition of the receiver. Your receiver is the place where clarity lands. It is the place where peace becomes instruction. It is the place where the body, the mind, and the spirit begin to agree. When that place is crowded by survival, even a divine sign can feel confusing because the signal has to pass through layers of fear first. This is why you have been asking for confirmation again and again. You were not trying to be difficult. You were trying to hear clearly through static. Stress created static. Screens created static. Betrayal created static. Rejection created Static. Years of carrying everyone else created static inside the very place meant to receive your next step. Earlier, I told you there was a question to hold. What if the blockage was never a flaw in your character? What if the gap between who you know you are and what your life has shown is not proof that you failed? The answer begins with the receiver. There is a brainwave state connected with clarity, insight, learning, and the kind of sudden knowing that feels almost spiritual. Scientists often call this gamma activity. It is not magic, it is not fantasy. It is one language the brain uses when information begins moving with unusual speed and connection. Many chosen ones remember living closer to that state as children. You learned quickly, you sensed things, you felt connected to life in a way that did not require effort. Ideas arrived without being forced, and the world seemed more alive because your inner signal had not yet been buried under survival. Then the world pressed down. School rewarded repetition more than vision. Stress kept your body braced. Screens scattered your attention. People taught you to doubt your perception. Little by little, the bright signal became covered, and you started calling that covered state normal life. But covered is not the same as gone. Buried is not the same as dead. Quiet is not the same as broken. The version of you that knows, creates, learns, and senses with unusual clarity is still inside you, but the receiver must be restored enough for the instruction to land cleanly. This is where the solution becomes important. There are researchers and sound engineers who have explored how specific sound patterns can guide the brain toward clearer states, not through force, not through complicated meditation, not through years of training, through a precise listening process that supports the receiver as it returns to a more aligned rhythm. I told you I would name the path before this message moved forward. That moment is close now. But first, you need to understand why this matters at the edge of Thursday. If the final trap is designed to rush you, then clarity is not optional. Clarity is protection. Because when the receiver is crowded, pressure feels like purpose. When the receiver is crowded, an old voice can sound like destiny. When the receiver is crowded, the counterfeit can wear the shape of answered prayer. And that is why heaven allowed this warning to reach you before the threshold. Hold the question from the beginning. What if the gap was not a character flaw? What if the reason you have sensed more than you could express is that the brightest part of your inner signal was suppressed, crowded, and trained into silence? Now listen closely. Gamma activity has been studied in connection with learning, focus, insight, and flow. Some researchers have connected it with moments when the mind links information quickly and cleanly. That matters because a chosen one does not only need motivation, a chosen one needs the inner clarity to recognize the instruction when it arrives. A team led by Dr. Robert Lake created a listening method built around this idea. The aim is simple. Support the brain as it moves toward a clearer gamma state, the kind of state connected with sharp insight, faster learning, and the feeling that the mind is no longer fighting itself. Before I tell you what they built, I want you to hear what people describe after using it. Not because their stories replace your own discernment. They do not. But because stories help the spirit recognize what restoration can look like when the receiver begins to clear. Rachel from California had tried prayer, meditation, manifestation, and every practice she could sustain. She still felt blocked. After listening daily for a short season, she described it like a channel had opened. Her relationship with her family softened, her learning became lighter, and her life began to feel enchanted again. Michael from Texas started with practical goals. He wanted more focus for his business and more mental clarity at home. After weeks of listening, he said problems stopped feeling so heavy because solutions began arriving with less strain. His wife, noticed the change, and his work life began moving with unusual ease. Those stories matter because they point to the same principle. When the receiver clears, the person does not become someone else. They become more able to access what was already placed inside them. The gift was not imported from outside. The static was reduced, so the inner signal could speak again. That is what Dr. Lake and his team built. They call it the Genius Song. It is a 7-minute audio track designed around brain entrainment, created to support gamma reactivation through sound, while you sit quietly with headphones, close your eyes, and relax. This is not a meditation app. It is not a random frequency track. It is not a song you play in the background while doing chores. It is a focused listening process. You do not chant. You do not force thoughts away. You do not need a perfect spiritual routine. You simply listen and let the sound do its work. One full session of guided entrainment has been compressed into 7 practical minutes. That matters for the chosen one who is tired. It matters for the person who has tried to keep long routines and then blamed themselves when life became too heavy to sustain them. 7 minutes is simple enough to begin. The Genius Song is not for everyone. It is for the person who has already done deep inner work, but still feels there is a missing bridge between their potential and their daily life. It is for the chosen one who knows effort alone has not explained the gap. It is for the cycle breaker who remembers being more intuitive as a child. It is for the one who feels that modern pressure dimmed something sacred inside them. It is for the person who is ready to restore the receiver, not so they can escape life, but so they can meet life with clearer instruction. A clinical biofeedback session can cost hundreds for 1 hour. At home, machines can cost thousands. This audio path is available for a fraction of its true value, and it is designed for daily use in a normal room with simple headphones without needing a clinic or a complicated schedule. There are also 4 support gifts included. One is an audio for children focused on confidence and attention. One is a classic prosperity book connected to the roots of modern abundance teaching. One is a guided visualization. One is a simple habits guide to help you protect the clearer state after listening. Now hear the deeper reason this matters before Thursday. The blessing that has been arranged for you may not arrive as something completely new. It may arrive as recognition. Something already near you may become visible when your receiver is clearer, and waiting in confusion can make a prepared door look ordinary. The danger is not that heaven has no path. The danger is moving through the path with a crowded receiver. The danger is missing a clean instruction because fear is louder. The danger is calling the counterfeit urgent and calling the true door too quiet. That is why restoration matters. Do not search for this through random tracks on video or music platforms. Many files can carry similar names, but that does not mean they contain the same entrainment design. The authentic path is only the one placed in the description and in the pinned comment below. There is no fear attached to this. There is no spiritual punishment if you do not feel led. The exchange is held by trust. If you use it and do not feel aligned with the shift, the promise is simple. Your money is returned. That is a trust-based exchange, not a trap. So if your spirit recognizes what was described, the link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Do not rush from fear. Do not move from pressure. Move only if your inner yes feels clean, steady, and aligned with the receiver you are ready to restore. Now we return to the heart of the warning. The tool is not the destination. The tool only supports the receiver, so the destination can be recognized when it arrives. God does not require you to get anything to be loved, chosen, protected, or guided. What was described is one path for the person whose spirit felt a clean yes. Whether that path is for you or not, the truth of this message still belongs to you. Thursday is still a threshold. The final trap is still trying to use confusion, speed, and old access against you. For the chosen one, whose spirit confirmed what was described, the path remains in the description and pinned comment. That is the last time for now. What comes next is not about a tool. It is about recognizing the trap that tries to hijack your clarity after the receiver begins to wake. Because clarity brings exposure. When your receiver clears, you may notice things you tolerated before. You may feel the heaviness around certain offers. You may suddenly understand why a person always left you confused. You may feel peace leave the room the moment an old pattern tries to enter again. Do not be surprised by this. Restoration does not only make life feel lighter, it also makes deception harder to ignore. The clearer you become, the less you can pretend that a cage is a home. The clearer you become, the less you can dress panic in spiritual language. This is why the trap gets loud before the breakthrough. It wants to reach you before your clarity settles. It wants to grab your attention while the receiver is still clearing. It wants to make the old timeline feel urgent, because urgency is how deception competes with peace. You must watch what rushes you. Watch what demands your yes before your spirit can breathe. Watch what flatters your gift while ignoring your boundaries. Watch what uses spiritual words but leaves your body tense. The counterfeit is not always ugly. Sometimes it is beautiful enough to test your hunger. That is why this section had to come before the deeper warning. You needed to know that the receiver can be crowded. You needed to know that your confusion has not been proof of failure. You needed to know that the static can be named, and what can be named can begin to lose power. You are not weak because you needed help hearing clearly. You are human. You are a chosen one who has carried more pressure than most people ever saw. Your clarity has had to fight through noise, grief, disappointment, and years of being trained to ignore the warning light inside your own body. But now, the warning light is being honored. Now the receiver is being discussed. Now the gap is no longer some mysterious shame you carry alone. The gap has language. The static has language. And when a hidden thing receives language, it can no longer rule from the shadows. There is another reason the reveal had to happen here. If you do not understand the receiver, you may keep turning every delay into self-accusation. You may keep saying, I should be further. I should know more. I should be stronger by now. But a crowded receiver does not need punishment. It needs clearing. And clearing is gentle when it is true. It does not demand that you hate yourself into change. It does not require you to become a machine. It does not ask you to prove your worth through exhaustion. True clearing helps the inner signal rise until the next right step becomes easier to recognize. That is the difference between force and alignment. Force says, move now or you will lose everything. Alignment says, become clear and the next step will carry peace. Force tightens the body. Alignment steadies it. Force speaks in panic. Alignment speaks with quiet authority. This is the wisdom you need for Thursday. The counterfeit will often use force, even when its words sound spiritual. It may say destiny, but carry pressure. It may say love, but ignore your boundary. It may say opportunity, but punish you for asking for time. That is not clean guidance. This is why Thursday matters. A threshold does not only reveal what is coming, it reveals what has been blocking your sight. It reveals what has been stealing your attention. It reveals which voice you still obey under pressure. The trap knows this, so it will attempt one final performance. It may come as a message that sounds sweet. It may come as a chance that looks too perfect. It may come as a fear that tells you to grab something before you lose everything. It may come as a memory that softens the truth just enough to make you question your freedom. But you are not here to be rushed. You are here to recognize. You are here to pause. You are here to ask, does this bring clean peace, or does it bring familiar pressure? That one question can save you from walking back into what your spirit already escaped. The final trap begins as a counterfeit. It does not announce itself as bondage. It presents itself as relief. It tells you the waiting is over, but it asks you to abandon your discernment as the entry fee. It tells you this is your chance, but it makes your body feel unsafe. And that is the part we must enter next. The counterfeit is not random. It studies the old version of you. It knows what you used to crave. It knows where loneliness used to weaken your standards. It knows how to imitate the shape of a prayer while carrying the weight of a chain. So, stay awake. Stay quiet inside. Let the receiver become clear. Let the old urgency pass without obeying it. The next part will show you how the final trap begins as a counterfeit. And once you see its design, you will never confuse familiar pressure with divine timing again. Now that the receiver has been named, we return to the trap that tries to hijack it. The final trap does not usually arrive as darkness. It arrives as something that seems almost right. It carries enough beauty to make you look twice, and enough pressure to make you forget to breathe. That is how the counterfeit works. It imitates the shape of a blessing, but it cannot carry the weight of peace. It knows the language of your prayer. It knows the hunger you carried in the waiting season. It knows what you once begged heaven to send, and it dresses itself in that costume. Chosen one, this is why you must not trust appearance alone. A thing can look open and still be unclean. A person can speak softly and still carry the old pattern. An opportunity can look generous and still demand access to the part of you heaven has been healing in secret. The counterfeit is not always obvious. If it were obvious, it would not be a trap. It may come wrapped in timing that seems perfect. It may arrive right after you start feeling strong. It may return just when you stop needing it, because the old timeline often panics when your attachment begins to die. Watch that closely. When something waits until you are healing to return, ask why. When someone ignored your pain but notices your glow, ask why. When a door opens only after you stop chasing it, ask whether it is assignment or just access trying to recover what it lost. The final trap is skilled at using familiar emotion. It does not always attack your mind first. It touches the wound that remembers. It touches the version of you that wanted to be chosen. It touches the lonely place that still wonders if maybe this time they finally understand your worth. But you cannot let an old wound answer a new door. That sentence must become law inside you. The old wound is not evil. It is just tired. It wants relief. It wants a different ending. It wants proof that all the pain meant something. But relief is not always restoration. Restoration carries peace. Counterfeit relief carries urgency. Restoration honors the person you became. Counterfeit relief flatters the person you used to be. Restoration can wait for your clarity. Counterfeit relief demands a quick yes before your wisdom fully wakes up. That is one of the clearest signs. The counterfeit rushes. It may not shout, but it creates pressure. It makes you feel that if you do not act now, you will lose something forever. But what heaven sends does not need panic to become powerful. Divine timing has authority without manipulation. You have felt that difference before. A true instruction may be serious, but it is clean. A false instruction may be exciting, but it is crowded. Your spirit knows the difference. Your body knows the difference. Your peace knows the difference, even when your mind tries to bargain. So, when Thursday approaches, do not only ask what is opening, ask what kind of weight it carries. Does it make you clearer, or does it make you frantic? Does it honor your boundaries, or does it punish your pause? Does it strengthen your spirit, or does it activate an old fear of missing out? The final trap may use a person. This person may not look like an enemy. They may have history with you. They may know the words that soften you. They may know how to sound changed without having changed. They may speak to the part of you that still wants the pain to be explained. Be careful with sudden tenderness from people who were comfortable with your confusion. Be careful with apologies that ask for access before they show fruit. Be careful with messages that awaken old hope, but leave your body tense. A mouth can say sorry while an energy says, open the door so I can return. You do not need to hate them. You do not need to punish them. You do not need to make a speech. You only need to recognize the weight. If the message carries more pressure than peace, slow down. If the apology requires you to forget what it cost, slow down. There is a holy slowness that protects chosen ones. The old you thought slowness meant losing love. The healed you knows slowness reveals truth. What is real can survive your discernment. What is false needs your panic. What is assigned can honor your pause. What is toxic needs immediate access. The counterfeit may also use opportunity. A chance may appear. A door may open. Someone may offer a promise, a role, a partnership, or a sudden financial path. It may sound like the breakthrough you wanted, but if it requires you to ignore the heaviness in your chest, it is not clean. Do not let desperation make decisions for you. Desperation will crown almost anything if it looks like escape. It will call pressure an answer. It will call noise a sign. It will say yes because waiting feels unbearable. But the chosen one must not let exhaustion become a prophet. Your exhaustion can speak, but it cannot lead. Your loneliness can be heard, but it cannot choose. Your fear can be acknowledged, but it cannot sit on the throne. This is the season where peace must become the authority, because peace is the guard at the gate of your next chapter. The counterfeit may even use spirituality. It may come with words like destiny, alignment, calling, and confirmation. It may sound sacred on the surface, but sacred language does not make a thing sacred. If the fruit is confusion, pressure, secrecy, chaos, or fear, then the language is only clothing. This is why your body matters. Your body often tells the truth before your mind stops performing. Your throat tightens, your stomach drops, your shoulders rise, your breathing changes. You feel small, rushed, watched, or cornered. Nothing obvious has happened, but your body is already reporting the atmosphere. Listen to that report. Do not mock it. Do not call it trauma every time it protects you. Trauma can distort, yes, but discernment can also speak through the body. The difference is this. Trauma screams that everything is unsafe. Discernment quietly points to the thing that is not clean. Thursday may bring a subtle moment, not thunder, not drama, a subtle moment, a message, a meeting, a memory, a sudden urge to return, a sudden chance to say yes, a sudden fear that this is your only way forward. That is where the test will hide. The trap has 3 common disguises. The first is the toxic counterfeit. This is the person, place, or pattern that once drained you, but returns with softer language. It comes back polished. It comes back humbled enough to seem safe, but not transformed enough to be trusted. A toxic counterfeit does not always abuse loudly. Sometimes it compliments you. Sometimes it asks for forgiveness. Sometimes it says, "It has been thinking." Sometimes it says the exact sentence you wished it had said months ago. But listen carefully. Does it honor the boundary, or does it rush past it? True repentance respects the gate. False repentance tests the lock. True change accepts consequences. False change wants quick closeness. True love can wait while trust is rebuilt. False love becomes offended when you no longer hand out access just because the voice sounds familiar. The second disguise is false urgency. This is when an opportunity carries a clock that feels spiritual but smells like panic. Decide now, answer now, return now, sign now, trust now, forgive now, open now. But heaven does not need to threaten your peace to guide you. False urgency feeds on your fear that nothing else will come. It speaks to the part of you that has waited too long. It says, this may be the only chance. It says, do not overthink. It says, everyone else would say yes. But divine timing will never demand self-betrayal as the price of entry. The third disguise is spiritual fatigue. This one is subtle. It does not offer a person or a door. It offers numbness. It whispers, stop caring, stop listening, close the message. Forget the warning. You are too tired to be careful. Just do what feels easiest. Spiritual fatigue is dangerous because it sounds reasonable. You have been through so much. You are tired. You want relief. You want something simple. But the easiest thing is not always the free thing. Sometimes the easiest thing is the old cage, because the body knows how to survive there. Do not confuse familiar with safe. Familiar can be deadly to destiny. Familiar can feel warm because your nervous system knows the pattern. Familiar can feel like home because you spent years adapting to it. But adaptation is not alignment. Survival is not peace. Recognition is not confirmation. That is why heaven did not answer some requests the way you expected. Love may not come through the person who taught you longing. Increase may not come through the door that makes you ignore peace. Vindication may not come through their apology. Sometimes the answer is not return. Sometimes the answer is release. Thursday will help you see that. It will show you which desire still belongs to the wound and which desire belongs to the assignment. It will show you what looks like rescue but feels like regression. It will show you where the old version of you is still tempted to call crumbs a feast. That is maturity. Maturity is not the absence of desire. Maturity is the ability to place desire under discernment. You can want something and still ask if it is clean. You can miss someone and still keep the gate closed. You can feel tired and still refuse a shortcut that costs your soul. This is why the final trap is not outside you only. It works through the sentence you keep saying to yourself. Maybe this is my only chance. Maybe I should not be so careful. Maybe I am being too guarded. Maybe I am too late. Maybe I should take what I can get. That sentence is the doorway. The counterfeit knocks outside, but the sentence opens from within. It does not need to defeat your whole spirit. It only needs one agreement with fear, one agreement with scarcity, one agreement with the idea that heaven will not provide anything cleaner. But scarcity is not your shepherd. Fear is not your prophet. Pressure is not your guide. You are not too late. You are not too guarded for wanting peace. You are not missing out because you refuse a door that requires self-abandonment. What is truly yours will recognize the person healing made you become. Let that enter you. What is truly yours will not need the wounded version of you to access it. It will not demand that you shrink. It will not punish your clarity. It will not require you to become confused again. It will meet you as the person you are becoming, not exploit the person you survived being. That is why your pause is powerful. A pause breaks the spell. A pause gives truth time to rise. A pause lets the body speak. A pause reveals who is patient and who is only performing patience. A pause turns urgency into evidence. Use the pause. When Thursday comes and something asks for your answer, pause. When a memory makes you romanticize the cage, pause. When a message touches the old wound, pause. When a door looks too perfect but feels too heavy, pause. The pause may save your future. In the pause, ask 3 questions. Does this carry peace? Does this honor who I have become? Does this require me to ignore what I already know? These questions are simple, but they cut through illusion. The counterfeit survives complexity. Truth often survives simplicity. If the answer is not clean, you do not need to perform certainty for anyone. You can say, "I need time." You can say, "I am not ready to answer." You can say, "Nothing," until your spirit steadies. Silence is an answer when pressure is trying to make noise your master. Some people will not like your pause. That is useful information. The right thing can handle your clarity. The wrong thing will shame it. A clean door can wait for peace. A false door will accuse you of fear because it cannot survive discernment. That balance is quiet authority. It does not need to scream. It does not need to punish. It does not need to explain every decision. It stands at the gate with peace in one hand and memory in the other, and it refuses to let nostalgia rewrite what wisdom has already learned. Thursday may give you that mercy. Something may reveal itself through how it responds to your boundary, not through what it promises, through how it handles your no, through how it handles your silence, through how it handles your need for time. The response will tell you what the offer was carrying. Notice what drains you. Notice what steadies you. Notice who respects your peace without being rewarded for it. Notice who only becomes kind when access is threatened. Notice what your body says before your mind starts building excuses. Notice the difference between desire and assignment. Desire can be loud. Assignment is often steady. Desire can be urgent. Assignment can wait for alignment. Desire asks, "How can I get this?" Assignment asks, "Who must I become to carry this cleanly?" The counterfeit speaks to desire without honoring assignment. This is why you must not let old hunger choose. Old hunger will choose what feels familiar. Healing will choose what feels true. Old hunger wants proof that it was worth loving. Healing knows it was always worth loving, and therefore does not need to return to the place that made it question that truth. You are healing into a new appetite. That is why old things no longer taste the same. What once thrilled you now feels heavy. What once pulled you now feels immature. What once made you anxious now makes you quiet. That is not loss. That is refinement. Refinement can feel lonely at first. The old room does not fit, and the new room has not fully opened. This middle place can tempt you to run backward. Do not. The middle is not punishment. It is the sacred space where your taste changes before your environment catches up. Thursday may meet you in that middle. It may ask whether you trust the refinement before the reward appears. It may ask whether you can refuse the counterfeit before the real thing is fully visible. It may ask whether peace is enough proof to wait. Peace is enough. Not lazy peace, not avoidant peace, clean peace, the kind that remains after fear quiets down, the kind that does not need to attack anyone to stand firm, the kind that lets you choose slowly, honestly, and without betraying the new version of yourself. Chosen one. The final trap begins as a counterfeit, because the enemy knows you will not bow to obvious darkness anymore. You have outgrown that. You have seen too much. So the test must become more subtle. It must look like what you want while carrying what you escaped. But you can see it now. That is the grace. You can feel the weight. You can name the pressure. You can pause before the yes. You can recognize when a door is speaking to your wound instead of your assignment. You can choose not to return. And in the next part, we will go deeper into the sentence that gives the trap permission. Because the most dangerous version of this trap is not the person, the offer, or the memory. It is the agreement inside you that says, maybe I should take this because nothing better is coming. The most dangerous sentence is quiet. It does not sound evil. It does not sound dramatic. It sounds reasonable when you are tired. It sounds humble when you have been disappointed. It sounds practical after years of waiting, but it can block the very blessing that is trying to reach you. Maybe this is not for me. That is the sentence. Maybe I am too late. Maybe I missed my chance. Maybe heaven moved on. Maybe I should take what is available because nothing cleaner is coming. These words can seem small, but they create a doorway for the old timeline. Chosen one, understand this without blaming yourself. That sentence did not begin as truth. It began as protection. It was your mind trying to lower expectation so disappointment would not hurt as deeply. It was a shield your wounded self created after too many doors closed without explanation. But a shield can become a ceiling. The thing that once helped you survive pain can begin blocking the life heaven is preparing. You lowered your hope to protect your heart, but now the lowered hope is standing between you and the instruction that requires a wider faith. That is why this part matters. The final trap does not need to defeat your whole spirit. It only needs agreement from one tired sentence inside you. It only needs you to believe that the delay proved you were excluded. It only needs you to call exhaustion wisdom. But exhaustion is not wisdom. Exhaustion is a signal that you need care, stillness, and truth. It should be heard, but it should not be crowned. If exhaustion leads, it will choose what feels easiest. If peace leads, it will choose what keeps your future clean. You are not too late. Let that land. You are not behind heaven. You are not outside the promise. You are not disqualified because you cried, doubted, paused, or needed time to recover. A chosen one can be tired and still be chosen. The old sentence says, maybe this is not for me. The healed voice says, if it is assigned to me, I do not need to chase it in panic. The old sentence says, I should settle before I lose everything. The healed voice says, what is clean will not require self-abandonment. That is the shift. You are not trying to force hope. You are learning to stop agreeing with despair. You do not need to pretend everything feels easy. You only need to refuse the lie that pain has the final word over your life. Some of you learned that sentence in childhood. You watched others receive attention more easily. You watched your needs get minimized. You watched your sensitivity become a problem in rooms too shallow to honor it. So you adapted by expecting less, needing less, and hiding the parts of you that wanted more. Some of you learned it through betrayal. You opened your heart and someone treated your trust like a convenience. You gave patience to people who used it as permission. You waited for change that never became fruit. After enough disappointment, your heart whispered, maybe love like that is not for me. Some of you learned it through money. You worked hard. You prayed. You planned. You tried to become disciplined. Still, the increase seemed delayed, and other people appeared to move ahead with less effort. So a sentence formed inside you, maybe abundance is for others, but struggle is for me. Some of you learned it through repeated doors. You almost received, you almost crossed, you almost got the answer, the invitation, the breakthrough. Then something shifted. The word almost became a wound, and the wound started preaching that you should stop expecting completion. But almost was not your identity. Almost was part of the training ground. It showed you where you still attached worth to outcomes. It showed you where speed had become proof. It showed you where you were tempted to call yourself rejected when heaven was refining your capacity. The sentence that blocks the blessing always uses old evidence. It brings screenshots from pain. It says, look at what happened before. It says, remember how they left. It says, remember how the door closed. It builds a case against your future using your past. But your past is not a prophet. Your pain is not an oracle. Your disappointment does not have permission to define what heaven can still do. The fact that something happened before does not mean it has authority over what is opening now. This is where the trap becomes subtle. The sentence sounds like maturity. It says, I am just being realistic. It says, I am not getting my hopes up. It says, I have learned my lesson. But sometimes what people call realism is just fear wearing respectable clothing. True wisdom does not kill hope. True wisdom purifies hope. It removes fantasy, but it does not remove faith. It removes desperation, but it does not remove expectancy. It removes blind trust in people, but it does not remove trust in divine timing. You are being asked to hold a cleaner hope now, not childish hoping that ignores red flags, not desperate hoping that begs closed doors. Clean hope, the kind that says, I can see the trap, and I still believe the real door exists. That is the hope the counterfeit hates. It wants you to become so tired that you call any open door a miracle. It wants you to become so discouraged that you stop testing the weight of things. It wants you to believe that discernment and delay have stolen your chance. But discernment did not steal your chance. Discernment protected your inheritance. Delay did not erase your future. Delay kept you from building your life on unstable ground. Waiting did not make you less chosen. Waiting trained your spirit to stop worshipping speed. Speed can be a trap. Slow can be holy. A quick yes can become a long bondage. A slow no can protect years of peace. A delayed answer can arrive with deeper roots than the answer you begged for when you were still afraid of being alone. So when the sentence rises, do not fight it with shame. Do not say, I should not feel this. Do not punish yourself for being tired. Place the sentence in the light. Say inside yourself, I know where this came from, but it is not allowed to lead me anymore. That is how healing speaks. Healing does not deny the wound. Healing removes the wound from the throne. Healing says, yes, I was hurt, but hurt is not my God. Yes, I waited, but waiting is not rejection. Yes, I lost, but loss is not prophecy. The final trap needs your inner agreement. Without your agreement, it has less power. It can knock, it can tempt, it can imitate, it can return. But if the sentence inside you no longer opens the door, the trap must remain outside your obedience. This is why silence is powerful. In silence, you can hear which sentence is speaking. Is it the wound? Is it fear? Is it peace? Is it wisdom? Is it the old hunger? The voice behind the sentence matters more than the sentence itself. The wound says, take it before it leaves. Peace says, what is clean can withstand clarity. Scarcity says, this may be all you get. Wisdom says, heaven is not limited to one door that makes your body feel unsafe. Fear says, hurry. Discernment says, breathe. Before Thursday unfolds, practice hearing the difference. Do not wait until the pressure is loud. Practice now. When a thought says, maybe I am too late, answer gently, I am not late for what is assigned. When a thought says, maybe nothing better is coming, answer, I do not build my future on panic. This is not empty affirmation. It is spiritual boundary work. You are placing a guard at the inner gate. You are refusing to let an old wound write the policy for a new season. You are telling your mind that past pain is evidence of survival, not evidence of disqualification. And there is another layer. When the receiver has been crowded by years of survival, old sentences can sound louder than guidance. That is why the path described earlier matters for some of you. Restoring the receiver is not about becoming special. It is about hearing clearly enough to stop obeying static. If your spirit felt a clean yes when that path was described, it remains available through the description and the pinned comment. No pressure is needed here. This is only a quiet reminder for the person who knows that their next level requires a clearer inner signal. Now return to the sentence, maybe this is not for me. Ask yourself, who taught me that? Was it heaven? Or was it disappointment? Was it peace? Or was it rejection? Was it wisdom? Or was it the voice of people who never knew how to handle my light? If the sentence was planted by pain, it has no right to govern your promise. If it was planted by rejection, it has no authority to interpret your calling. If it was planted by scarcity, it cannot be trusted to speak about abundance. The seed reveals the fruit. You stop by noticing it. You stop by refusing to repeat it as truth. You stop by choosing a new sentence, even while your body is still learning to believe it. I am not late. I am being led. I do not chase counterfeit doors. I receive what is clean. Say it slowly inside yourself. I am not late. I am being led. I do not chase counterfeit doors. I receive what is clean. That is not performance. That is alignment. That is you helping your nervous system hear the truth your spirit already knows. The old sentence may return. Do not panic. Returning is not ruling. A thought can visit without becoming your master. A fear can speak without receiving your agreement. A memory can rise without becoming your map. You are learning to let old voices pass through without building a home for them. This is quiet authority. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not need to announce that you have changed. It simply stops obeying what once controlled you. It lets the old voice speak, then chooses a cleaner command. Thursday will test this exact place. Something may appear that touches the sentence. It may make you feel like this is your last chance. It may make you question your standards. It may make you wonder if waiting for peace is just fear. Do not let the pressure rewrite the lesson. Ask for the fruit. What fruit does this produce in me? Peace, clarity, patience, and grounded courage? Or panic, confusion, urgency, and self-betrayal? A tree is known by its fruit. Your body, your spirit, and your peace will report the fruit if you slow down enough to listen. The sentence that blocks the blessing often comes right before the blessing becomes visible. That is why it feels so intense. Darkness does not need to persuade someone who is nowhere near the door. It becomes persuasive near the threshold because one wrong agreement can make an old cage look like safety. Do not condemn yourself for feeling tempted. Temptation is not failure. Temptation is exposure. It shows what still wants access. It shows what still needs healing. It shows where you need a boundary, not where you need shame. If loneliness is the hook, bring loneliness into the light. Say, I am lonely, but I will not let loneliness choose bondage for me. If fear is the hook, say, I am afraid, but I will not let fear crown a counterfeit. If fatigue is the hook, say, I am tired, but I will not let tiredness sell my future cheaply. That is how cycle breakers speak. They do not pretend the hook is gone. They stop letting the hook decide. They feel the pull and remain present. They honor the ache without returning to the chain. They let the old pattern reveal itself, then choose a new response. You are becoming that person, even if it feels slow, even if you still tremble, even if some days you only have enough strength to pause. A pause is victory when the old you would have reacted. A breath is victory when the old you would have begged. The blessing is not blocked because you felt fear. It is blocked when fear becomes your agreement. The door is not lost because you needed time. It is lost when urgency convinces you to enter what your peace warned you about. The test is not the feeling. The test is the agreement. So change the agreement. I do not agree with abandonment. I do not agree with scarcity. I do not agree with counterfeit urgency. I do not agree with the lie that heaven has forgotten my name. I agree with peace. I agree with divine timing. I agree with clean doors. Let those words wash the old sentence, not all at once, layer by layer. The mind may resist at first because it has rehearsed fear for years. Be patient. You are not trying to bully your mind into faith. You are retraining it to stop serving the wound. There is a moment coming where this will become practical. You will not just hear this in a message. You will have to live it. You will have to pause before the response. You will have to sit with the discomfort of not proving yourself. You will have to let silence feel strange until it feels safe. And when you do, something powerful will happen. The trap will lose momentum. The old person, old offer, old fear, or old memory may still stand there, but it will no longer find the same opening inside you. It will knock on the old sentence, and the old sentence will not answer. That is freedom, not the absence of tests, the absence of automatic surrender, not the absence of emotion, the presence of inner authority, not the absence of old voices, the ability to hear them and still choose the voice that carries peace. This is why the enemy becomes loud, near approval. The noise is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that something is being contested because access is being lost. If nothing were changing, the old pattern would not need to fight this hard to be believed again. You are closer than you feel. That is why the sentence is louder. You are crossing a threshold, so the old language is making one last speech. Let it speak. You do not have to obey it. Let it remind you of the past. You do not have to give it the future. Your future requires a new sentence. This is for me if heaven assigned it. I do not have to grab. I do not have to beg. I do not have to panic. I can wait for clean peace. I can recognize the counterfeit. I can receive without betraying myself. Carry that into Thursday. Carry it into the message, the meeting, the memory, the offer, the silence, and the strange inner pull. Carry it when your chest tightens. Carry it when your old wound wants proof. Carry it when the familiar voice tries to sound like destiny. Because if you can change the sentence, you can change the door you answer. If you can change the agreement, you can change the timeline you feed. If you can change the inner yes, the outer trap loses its favorite place to attach. The final trap is running out of time. It needed the old sentence to survive. It needed you to believe you were too late, too damaged, too tired, too forgotten, or too desperate to wait for clean alignment. But now you have language. Now you can hear it coming. And once you can hear it, you can refuse it. Once you can name it, you can remove it from the throne. Once you can pause before agreeing, you become dangerous to every pattern that depended on your panic. That is why the next part matters. Because if you were truly too late, the enemy would not be this loud. If the blessing were not close, the counterfeit would not be performing this hard. If your name had not been approved, the old timeline would not be fighting to recover access. Now you are ready to understand why the enemy panicked. If you were truly too late, the enemy would not be this loud. If the blessing were not near, the counterfeit would not be working this hard. If your name had been forgotten, the old timeline would not be fighting to recover access before Thursday unfolds. The noise is not proof of defeat. The noise is proof of pressure. Something that once held you is feeling its grip weaken, and it is trying to make one final sound before your spirit walks beyond its reach. Do not fear the noise. Read it. Darkness rarely panics over a person who has accepted bondage. It panics over the one who begins to see. It panics over the one who pauses before reacting. It panics over the one who stops calling familiar pain a home. That is why your peace has been contested. Look at the pattern. The old names rise when you begin healing. The old desires return when you stop chasing. The old fear grows louder when your faith becomes quieter and stronger. This is not coincidence. It is the sound of access being challenged. The enemy is not always a person. Sometimes it is a pattern. Sometimes it is a voice inside your own nervous system. Sometimes it is the memory of who you became when you were afraid. The real battle is over which voice gets to interpret the next door. That is why you have felt strange resistance. You decide to move forward, and suddenly doubt returns. You set a boundary, and guilt arrives. You choose silence, and a message appears that tries to pull words out of you. The timing is too precise to ignore. Chosen one, the enemy panics when your reactions change. It was never only after your money, your relationship, or your opportunity. It was after your pattern of response. If it could make you react the old way, it could keep you connected to the old timeline. But now, you are not reacting the same way. You may still feel the pull, but you are noticing it. You may still feel the ache, but you are not handing it the steering wheel. You may still hear the old sentence, but you are not crowning it as truth. That shift is dangerous to everything that depended on your confusion. A confused chosen one is easy to drain. A rushed chosen one is easy to redirect. A lonely chosen one is easy to flatter. But a clear chosen one becomes impossible to manage through old tactics. This is why the pressure may increase before the release. The old system tests the lock before it admits the key no longer works. It sends the familiar tone. It sends the guilt. It sends the sudden urgency. It sends the memory dressed in softness. It wants to know if the old door inside you still opens. But the old door is closing. Not because you hate anyone. Not because you have become cold. It is closing because your spirit finally understands the cost of leaving it open. You have paid too much in peace to keep giving access to what never honored your becoming. The enemy panicked because you stopped worshipping explanation. Before, you needed people to admit what they did. You needed them to understand how deeply it hurt. You needed the story to end with them finally seeing your value. Now, something in you is learning to move without their confession. You do not need their confession to be free. You do not need their regret to be chosen. You do not need their sudden softness to prove that your pain was real. Heaven saw it. Your body remembers it. Your spirit survived it. That is enough evidence to close the gate. Your silence is not empty. It is full of authority. It says, I have seen enough. It says, I do not need to rehearse pain to prove it happened. It says, I can forgive without returning. It says, I can love from a distance without letting love become a chain. This is the authority they misread. They thought your kindness meant endless access. They thought your patience meant no boundary. They thought your tears meant weakness. They thought your silence meant fear. But your silence was not fear. It was heaven teaching you how to stop bleeding in public. That is why they may test you. They may say something that used to make you defend yourself. They may act confused about a boundary they understood perfectly. They may bring up old memories to soften your focus. They may pretend nothing happened because they want you to enter the old script. Do not enter it. The old script has lines written for a version of you who no longer exists. In that script, you explain, you chase, you apologize for needing respect, you prove your heart again. You make room for people who never made room for your truth. But the script has changed. Your role has changed. You are not the wounded helper anymore. You are not the emotional rescue room. You are not the one assigned to make everyone comfortable while your own spirit suffocates. You are the gatekeeper now. Gatekeepers are not cruel. They are responsible. They know that what enters the house affects the atmosphere. They know that not every visitor deserves the center. They know that peace is not automatic. It must be protected by decisions that may disappoint people who loved your availability. The enemy panics when your compassion becomes disciplined. Undisciplined compassion can be used against you. It runs toward every wound. It explains every red flag. It gives endless chances without requiring fruit. Disciplined compassion still loves, but it does not hand the gate key to hunger. This is the balance of quiet authority. You can pray for someone and still not answer. You can wish them healing and still not reopen access. You can understand their pain and still refuse to become the place where that pain hurts you again. That is not unforgiveness. That is wisdom. Thursday may reveal exactly where your compassion needs discipline. You may be asked to respond to someone you once carried. You may be shown an opportunity that appeals to your desire to help. You may feel the old pull to rescue, fix, prove, or explain. Pause. There. The chosen one often confuses assignment with rescue. You see pain and you want to help. You see potential and you want to believe. You see a broken person and you remember your own brokenness. But not every broken thing is assigned to your hands. Some broken things are traps for your anointing. They do not want healing. They want access to your energy. They want your attention, your prayer, your time, your softness, and your ability to carry what they refuse to face. This is where discernment must lead compassion. Hear that deeply. You do not have to be exhausted to be faithful. You do not have to be available to everyone to be kind. You do not have to bleed to prove your purity. The enemy panics when a chosen one stops confusing depletion with devotion, and restoration creates exposure. When your energy returns to you, you start seeing who needed you drained. You start seeing which rooms benefited from your self-doubt. You start seeing which connections only worked when you were smaller, quieter, and easier to interrupt. That exposure can hurt. It can make you grieve. It can make you ask why you tolerated so much. But do not turn exposure into shame. You were doing the best you could with the clarity you had. Now you have more clarity, so you are responsible for a cleaner response. The enemy panics when shame loses power. Shame used to make you return. Shame said, you are being selfish. Shame said, you are not spiritual enough. Shame said, you should be over this. Shame said, if you were truly chosen, you would keep pouring. But shame is a false shepherd. The enemy also panics when your memory becomes holy. There is a kind of memory that keeps you bitter, and there is a kind of memory that keeps you wise. Bitter memory wants to punish. Holy memory wants to protect. You need holy memory now. Holy memory says, I remember what that access cost. I remember the nights I could not sleep. I remember the confusion. I remember how small I felt after giving too much. I remember the version of me who had to heal from what they called normal. This memory is not to keep you trapped in the past. It is to keep you from romanticizing the cage. The old timeline loves to edit the story. It shows you the good moments while hiding the cost. It reminds you of laughter while muting the ache in your chest. Clean memory does not hate. It tells the whole truth. It says, yes, there were moments of beauty, and there was also a pattern of harm. It says, yes, I loved them, and I was also disappearing. It says, yes, I wanted it to work, and I will not abandon myself to make it work now. This is why the battle has felt internal. You are not only resisting people, you are resisting edited memories. You are resisting old identities. You are resisting the version of you that was trained to accept heaviness as love, pressure as purpose, and crumbs as confirmation. That version deserves compassion. Do not hate the old you. The old you survived with the tools available. The old you kept believing when there was little proof. The old you carried you to this threshold. Bless that version, then release its authority. Say inside yourself, thank you for surviving, but you do not lead anymore. Thank you for protecting me, but fear does not choose anymore. Thank you for keeping me alive, but peace is the gatekeeper now. This is how identity changes without self-hatred. This is also where the path mentioned earlier may support the ones who felt called. The genius song was described for those who sense that their receiver needs restoration, and for those whose spirit recognize the need for clearer instruction. Use discernment, not pressure. Now return to the deeper truth. Whether you use any tool or not, your authority begins with agreement. What do you agree with? Do you agree with fear or with peace? Do you agree with scarcity or with divine provision? Do you agree with the old sentence or with the voice that says you are being led? The enemy panics when your agreement changes. It can still make noise, but it cannot build a home without agreement. It can still present the counterfeit, but it cannot force you to crown it. It can still send the old pattern, but it cannot make the new you bow. That is why your inner yes is sacred. Your yes is a key. Your no is also a key. Your attention is a key. Your response is a key. You have been handing keys to things that never should have entered the house. This season is about taking the keys back. Take back the key from guilt. Take back the key from loneliness. Take back the key from urgency. Take back the key from people who only love your light when it is shining on them. Take back the key from memories that forgot to tell the whole truth. You are not being mean, you are becoming mature. Mature love has doors. Mature faith has patience. Mature hope has discernment. Mature compassion has boundaries. The enemy panics when a chosen one becomes mature because immature gifts are easier to exploit. Your gift is maturing. Your sensitivity is becoming discernment. Your kindness is becoming wisdom. Your patience is becoming timing. Your silence is becoming authority. Your pain is becoming language. Your delay is becoming evidence that heaven was never careless with your life. You are being entrusted with a cleaner future. That is why old access cannot remain casual. That is why old habits feel uncomfortable. That is why certain conversations feel like a step backward. Your spirit can feel the responsibility of the next chapter before the chapter fully opens. Do not resent that responsibility. It is part of the blessing. What you prayed for requires a version of you who can keep it clean. Not perfect, clean, not fearless, faithful, not untouchable. Awake. The blessing is not only what arrives. It is who you become while carrying it. You are not just receiving, you are becoming. You are becoming someone who can sit with desire without obeying desperation. You are becoming someone who can feel love without surrendering discernment. You are becoming someone who can welcome opportunity without worshipping speed. That becoming is why they cannot read you anymore. The old pattern looks for the old response and finds a pause. The old voice looks for panic and finds prayer. The old guilt looks for surrender and finds a boundary. The old counterfeit looks for hunger and finds wisdom. This is why they may call you different. Let them. They may say you changed. You did. They may say you are cold. You are clear. They may say you think you are better. You simply know better. Do not argue with people who confuse your healing with arrogance. You do not need to shrink your transformation so others can recognize you. Some people only knew the version of you that was easier to use. Your healing may make you unfamiliar to them, and that is not your problem to solve. The new you is allowed to be unfamiliar to old access. Thursday will reward the one who remains unfamiliar to the old trap. The counterfeit will reach for the old name. It will call the old hunger. It will press the old wound. It will expect the old agreement. But when you do not answer from that place, the separation becomes visible. Then you will understand why the enemy panicked. It was not because you were weak. It was because you were waking. It was because the hook was losing power. It was because the door inside you was closing. It was because your identity was rising beyond the script written by your wounds. This is the point where everything starts shifting. Not outside first, inside first. The outer sign may still be forming, but the inner authority has already changed. And when inner authority changes, every external trap must reveal whether it can honor the new order or not. You are no longer begging the door to open. You are becoming the authority that decides which doors deserve your presence. You are no longer asking the counterfeit to admit what it is. You are learning to recognize its weight before it touches your future. Can you feel that? The old timeline is not as powerful as it used to be. The fear still speaks, but it does not sit as high. The memory still visits, but it does not hold the same command. The temptation still knocks, but your hand is not reaching for the lock as quickly. That is victory. Do not minimize it. Some of the greatest breakthroughs begin as a delayed reaction. You do not answer as fast. You do not collapse as deeply. You do not explain as much. You do not chase as long. Heaven sees that. The spirit realm recognizes that. You are being prepared for the revelation of Thursday. Not because a day controls you, but because the threshold is teaching you to read what arrives. The test has been building. The trap has been shaping itself. The old access has been circling, but your authority has been rising too. Now you are ready to hear what actually unfolds on Thursday. Not the fantasy, not the fear story, not the panic interpretation. The real unfolding is separation. It is exposure. It is the moment when the false door loses its beauty and the true instruction becomes impossible to ignore. Now you are ready to hear what actually unfolds on Thursday. Not the fear story, not the fantasy, not the panic interpretation. The real unfolding is separation. It is exposure. It is the moment when the false door loses its beauty and the true instruction becomes impossible to ignore. Thursday is not coming to control you. Thursday is not stronger than God. Thursday is not a curse sitting on your calendar. It is a threshold in your awareness, a place where heaven lets hidden things show their weight before they touch your future. What unfolds is not always loud. It may not arrive with thunder. It may not arrive through public proof. It may arrive through a simple shift inside your body, where something you used to chase suddenly feels too heavy to carry. That is revelation. Revelation does not always add information. Sometimes it removes illusion. It removes the glow from the counterfeit. It removes the fantasy from an old attachment. It removes the excuse from a pattern that kept borrowing your compassion while draining your peace. The first thing that unfolds on Thursday is exposure. Something will show its real weight, not necessarily through scandal, not necessarily through a dramatic confession. The exposure may come through how someone responds to your silence, your boundary, your pause, or your refusal to be rushed. Watch the response. That is where the truth lives. Promises can be polished. Apologies can be rehearsed. Spiritual language can be copied. But the response to your boundary reveals the spirit behind the invitation. What honors peace can wait. What needs control will press harder. This is why you must not explain too quickly. Explanation can become a bridge back to confusion. The old you explained because you wanted to be understood. The new you observes because you need to be free. Observation will show what explanation keeps trying to soften. A person may reveal themselves by becoming irritated when you ask for time. A door may reveal itself by turning cold when you do not worship it. A memory may reveal itself by offering comfort while pulling your spirit toward captivity. Exposure often begins with a small reaction. Do not ignore the small reaction. A slight pressure can be a large warning. A quiet heaviness can be a loud message. A sudden loss of peace can be the mercy that saves you from a season of repair. Heaven often whispers before the trap has permission to shout. The second thing that unfolds is separation. Not everyone can cross with you. Not every desire can cross with you. Not every version of you can cross with you. The threshold separates what looks attached from what is truly assigned. Separation can feel like loss at first. It can feel like silence. It can feel like distance. It can feel like you are being pulled away from familiar comfort before the new place has fully appeared. And come, and. But separation is not abandonment when heaven is removing mixture. Mixture is dangerous. It is when part of a thing feels holy, but another part keeps poisoning your peace. It is when love and confusion sit at the same table. It is when opportunity and pressure speak through the same door. Thursday will expose mixture. You will feel the difference. What is clean will not need you to betray yourself. What is assigned will not punish your discernment. What is true may challenge you, but it will not shrink you. A real door may stretch your faith, but it will not erase your peace. The false door will lose its glow. That is mercy. You may look at something you once wanted and feel nothing but quiet distance. Do not panic when desire fades. Sometimes fading desire is God removing the disguise from what your wound once called destiny. When the counterfeit loses beauty, do not paint it again. Do not run back to old imagination. Do not give the pattern a softer face, because emptiness feels uncomfortable. Let it become plain. Come, 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 mum, mum, come, 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 mum, come, 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 mum, mum, come, 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 come. Let it look like what it is. Plain truth is a gift. The third thing that unfolds is instruction. After exposure and separation, the true instruction becomes clearer. Not because heaven was silent before, but because your receiver is no longer buried beneath the same amount of static. What felt foggy begins to carry shape. Instruction may be simple. It may be wait. It may be say nothing. It may be do not answer yet. It may be leave that door alone. It may be prepare quietly. It may be take the clean step without asking the old room for permission. Do not despise simple instruction. The ego often wants something grand. It wants a dramatic sign, a public reversal, or a moment where everyone finally understands. But heaven often changes a timeline through one quiet act of obedience that nobody else sees. This is what unfolds on Thursday. The hidden thing is exposed. The mixed thing is separated. The clear instruction rises. And in that moment, you will understand why the restlessness came first. Your spirit was not anxious for no reason. It was preparing to read the threshold. Take a breath here. This is not about fear. This is about readiness. Fear says something is coming to harm me. Readiness says something is coming to reveal what I must no longer carry. Fear makes you shrink. Readiness makes you awake. You are awake now. You may still feel emotion, but you are awake. You may still feel tenderness toward the old thing, but you are awake. You may still wonder what comes next, but you are awake enough to stop handing the map to what wounded you. The old timeline counted on your sleep. It counted on your automatic response. It counted on the old yes, the old guilt, the old over-explaining, and the old fear of losing someone who never learned how to keep you safely. Now, you can feel the difference between a door and a demand. You can feel the difference between comfort and captivity. You can feel the difference between divine timing and emotional pressure. That difference is the wisdom Thursday is bringing into visible form. The hidden enemy may be exposed. Again, do not reduce enemy to a person. Sometimes the enemy is the need to be chosen by someone who never chose truth. Sometimes the enemy is scarcity. Sometimes the enemy is the fear that clean love and clean provision are too much to ask. If a fear is involved, watch how it speaks. Does it rush you? Does it shrink your options? Does it make God seem small? Does it make the counterfeit seem like your last rescue? That fear is not your guide. It is the old cage calling itself wisdom. If an opportunity is involved, watch its atmosphere. Does it create clean courage or frantic pressure? Does it respect your process or punish your pause? Does it align with your healed self, or does it recruit the part of you that is afraid to wait? Thursday will not ask you to hate anything. It will ask you to see clearly. Hatred is not required for separation. Rage is not required for boundaries. Drama is not required for discernment. You can walk away cleanly when the weight has told the truth. That is your maturity now. You no longer need the trap to become ugly before you release it. You no longer need betrayal to become catastrophic before you admit the pattern is unsafe. You no longer need a storm to prove that the sky has been warning you. You can leave at the level of heaviness. You can pause at the level of pressure. You can refuse at the level of confusion. That is a higher kind of obedience. It is the obedience that trusts subtle warning before damage becomes undeniable. The chosen one does not need to become hard. The chosen one needs to become clear. Hardness closes the heart. Clarity guards the gate. Hardness says, I trust no one. Clarity says, I trust fruit, peace, timing, and the witness of my spirit. That is the difference. You are not becoming suspicious. You are becoming sober. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming clean. You are not becoming distant from love. You are becoming unavailable for counterfeit versions of love that require you to disappear. Let Thursday separate those things. Let it separate love from attachment. Let it separate opportunity from pressure. Let it separate mercy from access. Let it separate your calling from your need to be approved by people who never understood your assignment. The real unfolding is a holy sorting. What belongs will remain clean. What does not belong will begin to feel heavy. What was hidden will show its edge. What was sent by God will carry enough peace to survive your questions. Some doors must close before the true door can be recognized. Some voices must become quiet before the instruction can rise. Some desires must lose strength before your will becomes free. This is not punishment. This is order returning to your life. Order may feel strange after years of chaos. Peace may feel boring after years of intensity. Stability may feel unfamiliar after seasons where love came with fear, attention came with confusion, and opportunity came with pressure. Let clean things feel strange until they feel safe. Do not run back to chaos because peace feels unfamiliar. This is important. The nervous system can mistake intensity for destiny when it has lived too long in survival. But the next door may not shake you. It may steady you. Learn to honor what steadies you. By Thursday, something may become too clear to ignore. A message may not land the way it used to. A promise may sound empty. A room may feel finished. A desire may lose its authority. A quiet instruction may rise and stay. When it rises, do not argue. Do not ask the old wound to vote. Do not ask the people who benefit from your confusion to confirm your clarity. Do not bring a holy instruction into a room that has a history of making you doubt yourself. Protect the instruction. Write it down if you need to. Sit with it. Pray over it. Breathe with it. Let it become steady before you expose it to noise. Some instructions are seeds, and seeds do not need public handling before they have roots. There is a reason the final trap appears near revelation. Revelation changes power. When you see clearly, the old system loses leverage. When you stop needing confusion explained by the person who created it, the old system loses the ability to keep you emotionally tied. That is why exposure may feel uncomfortable. Clarity can grieve you before it frees you. It shows you what you were hoping was not true. It shows you where you waited too long. It shows you where your compassion became a hiding place for another person's lack of growth. Do not let that grief become shame. You did not know then what you know now. You were loving from the level of consciousness you had. Now your consciousness is higher, so the same pattern cannot receive the same access. That is not cruelty. That is growth. You are no longer begging the door to open. You are the authority deciding which doors deserve your presence. Let that sentence settle. You are not waiting outside your own life anymore. You are standing inside your calling with the keys back in your hand. This is the master layer of your identity. The empath was real. The survivor was real. But now, the master of reality is rising, not as ego, not as arrogance, as alignment. You are learning that your agreement shapes which timeline receives your energy. When you agree with fear, fear gets fed. When you agree with scarcity, scarcity gets louder. When you agree with old access grows bold. But when you agree with peace, peace begins to organize your steps in ways panic could never imagine. This is why your agreement matters on Thursday. The day will not force you. The trap will not force you. The counterfeit will not force you. You will be invited to agree with either the old pattern or the new authority. The power is in the agreement. Choose the new authority. Choose the pause. Choose the clean door. Choose the silence that protects your spirit. Choose the boundary that keeps the blessing pure. Choose the instruction that carries peace, even if it does not flatter the part of you that wanted quick relief. There may be a moment where you feel both, the old pull and the new peace, the wound and the wisdom, the desire and the discernment. Do not panic when both are present. Crossing often feels like standing between two voices. Your freedom is revealed by which one you obey. Obey peace, not comfort, peace, not avoidance, peace, not numbness, peace. Real peace may ask you to do something difficult, but it will not require self-betrayal. Real peace may ask courage from you, but it will not ask you to become small again. The real door will feel different. It may be quiet, it may be simple, it may not have the drama your old hunger expected, but it will make the inner room cleaner. It will leave space for your breath. It will not demand that you abandon the person healing created. The false door will feel familiar. It will know the old words. It will touch the old ache. It will offer fast relief. It will create a sense that you must act before you think. It will not want your full clarity present, because full clarity would see too much. That is the difference Thursday reveals. The true door can stand in the light. The counterfeit needs pressure. The true instruction can be tested by peace. The counterfeit hates the pause. The true blessing honors the healed you. The counterfeit recruits the wounded you. Can you see it now? The final trap is not stronger than you. It only seemed strong when it was hidden. Once exposed, it becomes a choice. Once named, it becomes a pattern. Once slowed down, it loses the urgency that made it feel like destiny. This is why you had to stay until this point. Not to be scared, to become sober, not to obsess over Thursday, to enter it awake, not to accuse everyone, to test the weight of what arrives, not to hide from life, to meet life with clean discernment. Something will unfold. It may be external, it may be internal, it may be a truth about someone, a truth about a door, or a truth about yourself. But the deeper unfolding is this. You will see what no longer has permission to travel with you. And when you see it, do not negotiate. Do not ask the old timeline to bless your exit. Do not wait for the counterfeit to confess before you trust the weight. Do not ask fear for permission to follow peace. You have heard enough. You have seen enough. You know enough. The next move is not panic. It is sealing. After revelation, the spirit must be sealed. After exposure, the boundary must be sealed. After instruction, obedience must be sealed. Otherwise, the old pattern may return later and ask if you really meant what clarity showed you. So, the next part matters. You will learn how to place a seal over your spirit before the final door opens. Not a dramatic seal, a clean one, a practical one. The kind that keeps the old timeline from using your compassion, your loneliness, or your fatigue as a hidden entrance. After revelation comes sealing. This is the part many chosen ones miss. They receive the warning, they feel the exposure, they recognize the counterfeit, and then they leave the inner gate open. They understand the message, but they do not seal the decision. A seal is not noise. A seal is not panic. A seal is not a performance for people who never honored your process. A seal is a clean agreement inside your spirit that says, I saw what I needed to see, and I will not return to what God already exposed. This is why the final door requires stillness. If you rush after revelation, you may turn clarity into reaction. If you rush after exposure, you may speak before wisdom settles. If you rush after separation, you may confuse grief with guidance and walk backward while calling it compassion. So slow down. Let the truth settle. Let the body catch up with what the spirit already knows. Let the old pull tremble without becoming your instruction. There is a space between seeing and acting, and that space is where the seal is placed. The old timeline wants immediate emotion. It wants you angry. It wants you afraid. It wants you desperate to explain, prove, answer, or defend. But quiet authority does not need to move from adrenaline. Quiet authority waits until peace gives the command. This is the first seal. I do not move from panic. Say it inside yourself. I do not move from panic. That sentence closes one of the oldest entrances the counterfeit has used. Panic made you answer too soon. Panic made you apologize for boundaries. Panic made you call pressure a sign. But you are not ruled by panic anymore. You can feel urgency without obeying it. You can feel fear without building a life around it. You can feel the pull of the old pattern without handing it your hands, your mouth, your body, your attention, or your yes. The second seal is this. I do not return to the old timeline. Not in secret, not out of loneliness, not because someone finally says the words you once needed, not because a door opens with the same shape as a prayer you made when you were still bleeding. This is important. Some prayers were born from wounds. Heaven heard the pain, but heaven also saw what the wound could not see. Just because you once asked for something does not mean you are still assigned to receive it now. Healing can change what your spirit is able to call good. Do not feel guilty for outgrowing an old desire. You are allowed to become wiser than the prayer you prayed in survival. You are allowed to no longer want the person, place, or path that once represented rescue. That is not betrayal. That is maturity. The third seal is this. I wait for clean peace. Not perfect certainty. Clean peace. There is a difference. Perfect certainty tries to remove all risk before you move. Clean peace gives you enough inner steadiness to take the next faithful step without abandoning yourself. Clean peace does not always feel easy. Sometimes it asks courage. Sometimes it asks restraint. Sometimes it asks you to let a door close while everyone else thinks you are foolish. But even when clean peace is difficult, it does not carry the poison of self-betrayal. This is how you protect the instruction. You stop handing it to fear. You stop asking the old room to confirm it. You stop explaining it to people who are skilled at turning your clarity into confusion. Some instructions must be protected in silence until they grow roots. Silence is not hiding. Silence is covering. A seed does not need a crowd. A seed needs soil, water, and time. Your next instruction may be a seed. Do not dig it up every hour to prove that it is growing. Protect it long enough for fruit to speak. The fourth seal is this. I do not confuse grief with guidance. This one matters because separation often hurts. Even when the separation is holy, the heart may ache. Even when the door was false, part of you may miss the fantasy attached to it. Missing does not mean returning. Crying does not mean you made the wrong choice. Feeling tenderness does not mean the boundary is too harsh. Grief is the echo of attachment leaving the body. Let it echo. Do not let it become a map. You can grieve and still obey. You can miss and still refuse access. You can love and still leave the gate closed. This is the kind of maturity the old timeline never expected from you. It expected emotion to become surrender. Now, emotion becomes information. The fifth seal is this: I do not let my compassion become a hidden entrance. Chosen one, your heart is beautiful. That is true. Your mercy is real. Your ability to understand pain is a gift. But a gift without a gate becomes a doorway for every unhealed thing that wants shelter. You can care without carrying. You can pray without returning. You can understand without excusing. You can forgive without becoming available. This does not make your heart smaller. It makes your love cleaner. Because clean love does not require you to disappear. This is where the final door begins to open. Not outside first, inside first. A person who can seal their spirit becomes ready to carry new rooms. A person who can protect peace becomes ready for increase. A person who can refuse the counterfeit becomes ready for what is true. The new door needs a new version of you, not a perfect version, a sealed version, a version that does not throw away peace for attention, a version that does not sell clarity for speed, a version that does not let loneliness negotiate with bondage. That version is rising now. You can feel it. The old pull still exists, but it does not own you. The old memory still speaks, but it does not command you. The old fear still visits, but it does not sit on the throne. Something clean is taking authority inside you. If you feel this, do not let it stay only as a feeling. Give it a physical witness. Type 777 if you do not return to the old timeline. Type it not as performance, but as agreement. Let your own eyes see your decision in visible form. And if that does not feel right for you, speak it quietly where you are. I do not return to the old timeline. I receive with wisdom. I wait for clean peace. I do not crown pressure as purpose. Let the words become a seal over the place where panic used to enter. Words matter, not because words are magic tricks. Words matter because agreement needs language. The old sentence had language. Maybe I am too late. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I should settle. Now, your new agreement needs language too. Say this slowly. I am not late. I am being led. I do not chase counterfeit doors. I receive what is clean. I protect what God revealed. I honor the warning. I cross the threshold awake. Do not rush those words. Let them find the places inside you where fear has been sitting. Let them touch the part of you that has been waiting for permission to choose peace. Let them tell your nervous system that the old emergency is not the master anymore. The final door opens differently for a sealed person. You no longer approach it begging. You approach it awake. You no longer ask if you are worthy of entering. You ask whether the door is worthy of the peace you now carry. That is not pride. That is stewardship. If heaven restored your clarity, you are responsible for protecting it. If heaven exposed the trap, you are responsible for refusing it. If heaven gave you peace as a witness, you are responsible for not trading it for familiar confusion. The seal must reach your attention. Attention is a gate. What you keep watching, checking, replaying, and imagining is receiving energy from you. Some of you have already left the old door physically, but your attention still visits it every night. Call your attention back, not with shame, with authority. Say, my attention belongs to my assignment. My attention belongs to my healing. My attention belongs to the clean future that is forming. I do not feed what God has finished. The seal must reach your mouth. Some doors stay open because you keep talking like the old pattern still owns a future with you. You keep saying maybe. You keep leaving emotional loopholes. You keep explaining yourself into attachment. Let your mouth become clean. Do not speak curses over your future. Do not keep saying nothing good ever happens for me. Do not keep saying I always lose. Do not keep rehearsing abandonment as if it is your destiny. Your mouth must stop feeding the timeline your spirit is exiting. Speak cleanly. I am being led. I am being protected. I am being prepared. What leaves by truth cannot steal what remains by grace. What is false may fall away. What is assigned will recognize me without requiring me to abandon myself. The seal must reach your body. If your body has been living in survival, it may need time to believe the danger has passed. Be gentle with it. Rest when you can. Breathe when the old urgency rises. Place your hand over your chest and remind yourself that a pause is allowed. Your body does not need to be punished for being alert. It kept you alive through seasons where your spirit had to endure too much. Now you are teaching it a new rhythm. Not chaos, not collapse. Not constant readiness for loss. A cleaner rhythm of peace. The seal must reach your boundaries. A decision without a boundary is only a wish. If you know the old door is closed, do not keep standing at the entrance. If you know the counterfeit carries pressure, do not keep entertaining its performance. Protect the yes by honoring the no. Some boundaries will be invisible. You will not announce them. You will not post them. You will not explain them. You will simply stop giving emotional access to what has proven unsafe. Invisible boundaries can be powerful when they are backed by consistent action. Some boundaries will be spoken. Keep them simple. I need time. I am not available for this conversation. I am choosing peace. I will not make a decision from pressure. Simple words carry power when they are not followed by apology. The seal must reach your schedule. Make room for quiet. A crowded life makes it harder to hear clean instruction. You do not need to disappear from responsibilities, but you do need moments where noise is not the loudest thing in the room. Before Thursday, create one quiet pocket, even 5 minutes. No scrolling, no old messages, no checking what they are doing, no feeding the loop. Sit with your breath. Ask for clean guidance. Then listen without demanding that the answer sound dramatic. The answer may be a simple knowing. Do not reply. Wait. Release that hope. Take the next step. Stop checking. Prepare quietly. Let them reveal themselves. The simplicity of the instruction does not make it small. Simple obedience can shift an entire timeline. For the chosen one whose spirit confirmed the path described earlier, the support remains in the description and pinned comment. That is the final reminder. Nothing else needs to be said about it now. What follows belongs to your sealing and your next act of obedience. Now bring your focus back fully. The seal is not outside you. It is not dependent on any tool, any person, or any perfect condition. The seal is your agreement with truth after the truth has been revealed. It is the moment you stop negotiating with what already showed its fruit. Fruit matters. Remember that. Not promises. Fruit, not potential. Fruit, not intensity. Fruit, not spiritual vocabulary. Fruit. If something carries the fruit of confusion, pressure, secrecy, depletion, and self-betrayal, do not call it divine because it uses beautiful words. And if something carries the fruit of peace, clarity, patience, honor, and clean courage, do not dismiss it because it feels quieter than the chaos you used to know. The true thing may not perform. It may simply remain steady while the false thing demands a stage. A sealed spirit can wait for fruit. An unsealed spirit chases feeling. A sealed spirit asks what remains after emotion passes. An unsealed spirit tries to make the moment last. A sealed spirit can feel desire without letting desire become the judge. You are becoming sealed. Every sentence of truth is closing an old entrance. Every breath is slowing the spell of urgency. Every moment of recognition is pulling your future out of the grip of the old timeline. Do not underestimate this inner work. The world may not see it. They may not clap for your restraint. They may not understand the victory of not replying. They may not know what it cost you not to return. But heaven sees the private obedience that protects public blessing. Private obedience matters. The choice you make alone can change what you are able to carry openly. The boundary no one sees can become the reason your next door remains clean. The silence no one celebrates can become the place where your spirit grows strong. This is why the seal comes before the final door. If the door opened before the seal, old access could follow you in. If increase came before the seal, old fear could spend it. If love came before the seal, old attachment could distort it. The seal protects the arrival. You are not being delayed again. You are being secured. There is a difference. Delay without purpose drains the heart. Securing prepares the vessel. This is not heaven holding back to hurt you. This is heaven making sure what enters next does not get contaminated by what should have stayed behind. Let the old stay behind. Let the counterfeit remain outside. Let the false urgency exhaust itself without your participation. Let the apology prove fruit before access. Let the opportunity survive your questions. Let the memory pass through without becoming a command. Say it again if you need to. I do not return to the old timeline. I receive with wisdom. I wait for clean peace. I protect what has been revealed. I let the false door close without chasing its shadow. You are closer to the final door than you think. That is why the seal feels serious. You are not playing with small things anymore. Your attention, your yes, your no, your silence, and your peace are all part of the architecture of your next season. Do not treat them casually. Do not hand them to whoever speaks loudly. Do not let old guilt rent space in the house that healing built. Do not let temporary loneliness make permanent decisions. The next chapter needs your full presence, not your old survival reflex. If this part is touching something deep in you, let it. Do not push it away. It is not condemnation. It is confirmation. The part of you that knows better is finally being given permission to choose better, and the part of you that is scared can come along without leading. That is tenderness and authority together. You do not abandon the wounded part of you. You simply remove it from leadership. You say, I know you are scared. I know you want relief. But we are not going back to what made us beg for peace. That sentence can change everything. We are not going back. Not with hatred, not with bitterness, not with pride, with clarity, with memory, with peace. With the kind of authority that does not need to make a scene to make a decision. The final words of this message are coming next. They are not just information, they are your seal in spoken form. They will close the loops, gather the warning, and place one final agreement over your spirit before Thursday unfolds. So stay present. Do not drift now. Do not let distractions steal the closing. The old timeline wants you to miss the seal because it knows the seal makes you harder to reach. The final part is where the decision becomes identity, and the identity becomes your new way forward. The final words are not information. They are your seal. Everything you have heard is now gathering into one agreement inside your spirit. Thursday is not bigger than God. The trap is not stronger than your discernment. The old timeline is not your master anymore. You came into this message carrying pressure. You stayed through the warning. You heard why your spirit was restless. You saw the delay in a new light. You learned that the counterfeit often arrives dressed like relief, and you named the old sentence that tried to block the blessing. Now the loops close. What unfolds on Thursday is separation. The false door loses its glow. The hidden weight becomes visible. The true instruction rises. And the chosen one who listens with a sealed spirit, does not panic when the old pattern knocks. So let this be clear. The final trap was never sent because you were weak. It was sent because your breakthrough required one last test of access. Who still gets to move you? Who still gets to rush you? Who still gets to make you betray your peace for familiar emotion? The answer changes today. Not everyone can move you now. Not every voice can enter your inner room. Not every apology can reopen the gate. Not every opportunity can buy your discernment. Not every memory can pretend to be destiny. You are not the same person who entered the waiting season. You are not the same heart that thought confusion was normal. You are not the same soul that needed constant explanation from people who benefited from your doubt. Something in you has grown too clear for old chains. This is your final seal. I do not return to the old timeline. I do not crown pressure as purpose. I do not confuse urgency with instruction. I do not let loneliness choose bondage for me. I wait for clean peace. Say it inside your spirit. I wait for clean peace. Let those words settle where panic used to live. Let them settle in your chest. Let them settle in your throat. Let them settle in the part of you that used to answer too quickly. You are not being asked to become hard. You are being asked to become faithful to the truth you now see. Hardness closes the heart. Clarity guards the gate. You can remain soft and still be unavailable for what keeps injuring your spirit. That is the transformation. The empath does not disappear. The survivor does not get erased. The master rises and brings order to both. The empath keeps compassion. The survivor keeps memory. The master decides what receives access. This is why your life had to slow down. You were not being punished. You were being trained to carry authority without losing tenderness. Many people become hard after pain. You were being shaped into someone wiser than hardness and stronger than reaction. Your strength is not in shouting. Your strength is in not opening the gate. Your strength is in not sending the message. Your strength is in not explaining yourself to a pattern that already proved it prefers your confusion. Your strength is quiet, but it is real. That quiet strength is what heaven has been building. Every closed door added wisdom. Every delay added depth. Every betrayal taught you the cost of unguarded access. Every lonely night returned your attention to the voice inside you that still knew you were chosen. You did not lose those years. You were becoming. You were becoming someone who can recognize a counterfeit before it becomes a cage. You were becoming someone who can feel desire without letting desire sit on the throne. You were becoming someone who can receive without begging. The old timeline cannot understand this version of you. It expects the old reflex. It expects the chase. It expects the guilt response. It expects the wound to answer. But this version of you pauses. This version breathes. This version asks for fruit. Fruit over words, peace over pressure, alignment over attention, wisdom over urgency. These are not phrases. They are gates. They decide what enters the next chapter. They decide what can touch your energy. They decide what gets to sit near the blessing. Because the blessing needs protection, not because it is fragile, but because it is holy. What God brings into your life should not have to share space with the same chaos that once trained you to doubt yourself. The new must be guarded from the old. That is why you cannot keep emotional side doors open. You cannot say you want freedom while leaving a secret path back to bondage. You cannot say you want peace while feeding conversations that keep your nervous system in war. Choose the house you are building. If the house is peace, then fear cannot decorate it. If the house is clarity, then confusion cannot rent a room. If the house is self-respect, then old access cannot keep a spare key. This is your house now. Your spirit lives here. And your spirit has waited a long time for you to return home, not to a place, to yourself. to the inner room where your yes is clean and your no is holy, to the place where you do not need to be chosen by the wrong people to know you are chosen by heaven. Let that heal the part of you that begged. You were not pathetic. You were hurting. You were not weak. You were hungry for safety. You were not foolish. You were learning the difference between love and attachment in rooms that did not teach it gently. Bless that younger version of you, the one who stayed too long, the one who explained too much, the one who kept hoping the same person would finally understand. Bless that version. Do not shame them. Bless that one. They carried you until you could see clearly. Now take the keys from their shaking hands. Say, "Thank you for surviving, but I will lead now. Thank you for keeping hope alive, but I will not place hope inside a cage again. Thank you for loving deeply, but I will not love by abandoning myself anymore." This is how the seal becomes identity. It is not just a sentence, it is a new way of walking. It is the way you answer slowly. It is the way you let silence protect you. It is the way you stop dressing red flags in spiritual language. You are a cycle breaker. That means you do not only break what others did to you, you also break the agreements you made with pain. You break the belief that love must be earned by exhaustion. You break the belief that opportunity must come with pressure. You break the belief that waiting means abandonment. You break the pattern by choosing differently when the old feeling returns. The old feeling may still come, the loneliness may still rise, the memory may still soften, the fear may still whisper. But the pattern breaks when feeling no longer becomes automatic obedience. That is power. That is mastery. That is the quiet miracle nobody sees at first. A chosen one changes the timeline by changing agreement. You stop feeding the fear. You stop opening the door. You stop calling the counterfeit by the name of destiny. Thursday may still come with emotion. Let it. Emotion is not the enemy. Emotion is weather. It moves through. You do not build your house on weather. You build on truth, peace, fruit, and the instruction that remains after the storm inside you has passed. If something is exposed, stay steady. If something falls away, stay steady. If a person reveals their motive, stay steady. If a door closes, stay steady. If an instruction rises quietly, stay steady. The sealed one does not need chaos to prove that God is moving. God can move in stillness. God can move through a pause. God can move through a no. God can move through a closed door that finally stops stealing your attention. Do not only look for movement in what opens. Sometimes the miracle is what no longer has access. That is a word for you. The miracle may be the access that ends. The miracle may be the message you do not answer. The miracle may be the old desire that loses its taste. The miracle may be the silence that feels strange at first, then begins to feel like freedom. Do not underestimate quiet freedom. It may not impress the world, but it restores the soul. It gives your breath back. It gives your mind back. It gives your prayer back. It gives your mornings back. It gives your body permission to stop bracing for the next emotional attack. You have been braced for too long. You woke up ready to manage moods, interpret silence, carry guilt, and prepare for disappointment. That was survival. But survival is not your final home. You are allowed to live unbraced. You are allowed to receive peace without waiting for it to be stolen. Let your body hear that. You are allowed to live unbraced. You are allowed to stop expecting the trap in every corner while still using discernment at the gate. You are allowed to rest and remain wise at the same time. This is the maturity of the chosen one. You do not become careless because you trust God. You do not become paranoid because you have discernment. You become sober, soft, steady, and clear. You carry love without handing love to every hand that reaches. The old world will not always celebrate this. Some will call your peace distance. Some will call your boundary pride. Some will call your clarity fear. Let them call it what they can understand. You are not here to shrink your healing into language that makes the old room comfortable. You are here to walk cleanly. You are here to receive wisely. You are here to protect the oil on your life. You are here to stop treating your energy like it belongs to whoever is loudest. You are here to become unavailable for spiritual noise. The oil on your life is not for chaos. Your light is not for people who only love brightness when it serves them. Your intuition is not for endless suspicion. Your kindness is not for self-erasure. Your patience is not for people who use time to avoid transformation. Everything is becoming ordered. Your attention returns. Your voice returns. Your no returns. Your appetite changes. Your peace becomes more valuable than approval. Your silence becomes less scary. Your body begins to trust that you will not drag it back into what it warned you about. This is restoration, not only outer blessing, inner order. The blessing can come and not destroy you because the house inside is being cleaned. The door can open and not swallow you because the gatekeeper has returned to their post. You are the gatekeeper. Do not hand that role to fear. Do not hand it to longing. Do not hand it to the person who comes back with soft words and unchanged fruit. Do not hand it to the opportunity that cannot survive your questions. The gatekeeper listens for clean peace. The gatekeeper honors fruit. The gatekeeper knows that fast is not always faithful and familiar is not always safe. The gatekeeper does not need to hate what waits outside. The gatekeeper simply knows what cannot enter. Carry that into Thursday. Carry it into the next message you receive. Carry it into the next decision. Carry it into the moment your old wound asks for one more chance to choose. Carry it into the silence after exposure. Carry it into the first breath of freedom. If you feel the pressure rise, pause. If you feel the old sentence return, answer it with truth. If you feel the counterfeit shine, test its fruit. If you feel grief, let it pass through. If you feel peace, honor it. If you feel God saying, wait, wait, you will not miss what is yours by refusing what is unclean. That must be sealed in you. You will not miss the true door by refusing the false one. You will not lose divine timing by not obeying panic. You will not be punished for protecting the peace heaven taught you to value. The trap wants you to believe refusal is loss. Sometimes refusal is the doorway. Sometimes no is the key. Sometimes silence is the strategy. Sometimes waiting is the obedience. Sometimes not returning is the loudest declaration your spirit can make. So make it now. I do not return. I do not reopen what truth closed. I do not trade peace for familiar pressure. I do not answer from panic. I do not let the counterfeit write the final sentence over my breakthrough. And now, receive this over your life. May every false door lose its glow before you touch it. May every counterfeit reveal its weight before you agree to it. May every hidden motive become visible without you having to chase proof. May your peace become sharp. May your sleep become protected. May your dreams become clean. May your body stop carrying warnings that your mind refuses to hear. May your discernment become steady without becoming suspicious. May your heart remain soft without becoming accessible to what harms it. May Thursday unfold with mercy. May exposure come without destruction. May separation come without self-hatred. May instruction come with clarity. May the old timeline call and find no agreement inside you. May the new door recognize the healed version of you. You are not late. You are being led. You are not rejected. You are being redirected. You are not difficult. You are discerning. You are not cold. You are clean. You are not behind. You are being positioned for something your old self could not have carried safely. This is your crossing. The old season is not allowed to define the new one. The old wound is not allowed to interpret the next door. The old fear is not allowed to sit as judge over the promise. The old access is not allowed to keep the key. Chosen one, stand up inside yourself, not physically if you cannot, spiritually. Stand in the place where you stopped bending for confusion. Stand in the place where you stopped apologizing for peace. Stand in the place where you remember that your life is not an accident. Your life has been protected through things you did not understand. Your path has been covered through delays you once resented. Your spirit has been trained through seasons that looked silent. Your name has not been forgotten. Your instruction has not been cancelled. The final trap failed the moment you became aware of it. It may still try to speak, but awareness has changed the room. It may still knock, but you are no longer asleep. It may still imitate, but your discernment has language now. And because your discernment has language, your future has a guard. Because your peace has value, your yes has purity. Because your no has authority, your next door has protection. Because your identity has risen, the old timeline cannot command you the same way. Now this is your action. Type 777 if you refuse the old timeline. Type, I receive with wisdom, if your spirit agrees. Do not write it from fear. Write it as a seal. Let your own words witness your decision. Then share this message with one chosen one who is standing near the same threshold. Not everyone will understand it. The right person will feel the warning in their spirit. They may need these words before Thursday unfolds over their own life. And if this message has been a confirmation, subscribe and stay connected to this covering of words. There are more thresholds ahead, and chosen ones need reminders that help them stay awake without becoming afraid. This channel is for the ones learning to carry peace with authority. One last time, receive the seal. I do not return to the old timeline. I do not crown pressure as purpose. I do not let loneliness choose bondage for me. I wait for clean peace. I recognize the counterfeit. I receive what is assigned. It is done in your agreement. It is sealed in your awareness. It is guarded by your discernment. It is carried by your peace. Walk into Thursday awake. Walk into the next door clean. Walk into the new season as the one who finally knows the trap cannot follow where agreement has been broken.